Now let's take a look at each team in the series, beginning with the Baltimore Blast. Now the Blast have been a mainstay in the playoffs every year as they seemingly steamroll right through their division. But that hasn't been the case this year, has it, Tom?
No, the Eastern Division much tougher this year. Of course, Syracuse has been a good rival for the Blast the last couple of years. Harrisburg, though, what a rivalry. Denison Cabral, the former Blast legend, going up to coach the Heat, and again, put together a tremendously competitive team in Harrisburg. Of course, Blast had to do everything they could to defeat the Heat in the first round of the playoffs to get here. And then the expansion Florida Topics, who not much expected of preseason, but I'll tell you, Clay Roberts did a heck of a job organizing that team, and they were in playoff contention right till the last week of the season.
You know, it's been great for the league and the team this year that they had so much more of a challenge than they've had in the past. And I think it really it does set them up for a much more exciting series because they've faced diversity. They've gone the first half of the season without their leader in Pat Healy, who came mid-season. And that's really when you started to get the feeling this is the Blast of old. This is the team that's really going to pick up their play and move on into the playoffs again. Talk about what a Pat Healy type of player brings to the team.
Well, the consummate professional guy, veteran defender who's been around a long time, knows the game, grew up with the game. Of course, his father, longtime GM of the Blast. And I think Pat's, he initially was going to retire, but when the organization came calling, he was ready. He kept himself in shape, ready to play. And to just have a veteran presence like that to join the team at midseason, huge boost, I'm sure, for the Blast. And he's almost like another coach on the field. I'm sure Danny Kelly has tremendous faith when Pat is out there playing, and just really one of the outstanding defenders of this past decade in the MASL.
And you talked a little bit about the Harrisburg Heat. It was a great season for them. Out of nowhere, they came from one win last year to make the playoffs. And now they go in and give the Blast a real challenge, winning Game 1 in Harrisburg and really taking it down to the wire in Baltimore for the first in the opening series. What does that do for Baltimore as they come in here? Does that help prepare them a little bit for a tough challenge like they're getting from Milwaukee?
Well, I think psychologically it was maybe a bit stressful for the Blast. And, of course, physically, they had to have a quick turnaround from that series to then start the series against Milwaukee. But, again, with Baltimore's experience, certainly their postseason experience, certainly, with the coaching staff between Danny Kelly and assistant coach David Bascom, these guys have had the game plan down for years. And so even though I think that was probably a bit stressful, a little more stressful maybe than the Blast was hoping in that series against Harrisburg, they knew what they had to do. They've been to this scenario before. And again, I was not surprised that they were able to come out and play as well as they did in the opening game against Wade. But as we'll see in Game 2 or possibly Game 3, will the more condensed schedule the Blast has had over the last couple of weeks take its toll as the minutes rack up in the series?
If this game goes down to a Game 3, how do you see Danny Kelly bringing out his players in a more pressure situation to get this game over with? Or do you think that he plays it close to the vest and looks to just win a defensive battle?
Well, Baltimore's format for winning throughout the Danny Kelly era has been staunch defense, excellent goalkeeping, and opportunistic offense. So, again, I don't think they're going to change the game plan based on anything, except for the fact if they lose Game 2 and then they fall quickly behind in the minigame, maybe you'll see them pressing a little bit more, putting some pressure upfield to perhaps try and see if they can change the tone of the game. But I don't expect Danny and the Blast to do anything different. Their formula is been sound for many years. And so I don't expect that they're going to change anything up unless it really gets to be desperate circumstances in a potential minigame.
All right. Now for Milwaukee, they've completely changed a lot of what they did in the past. They revamped their roster, and it started slowly, but really started picking up steam around the new year. And as the regular season came to a close, they were one of the hottest teams in the MASL. Now they hit a tough team in Kansas City in the opening round of the playoffs, but they finally got that weight off of their back. They dispatched Kansas City, and at times in that series they looked unstoppable. Where do they go from here?
Well, as you said, Jeff, it was a great victory over Kansas City. Comets had defeated the Wave 4 consecutive years in the postseason. So psychologically, I think that was great for the Wave to get over the hump. They have retooled the team a little bit younger, more athletic this season. Still have the key players in Ian Bennett and also Max Ferdinand, not to mention a handful of other veterans. But really got some great contributions from some rookies, starting with Josh Lemos as the goalkeeper. Josh emerged literally out of nowhere, it seemed, to take hold of the job, and he was just tremendous this year. And then some young defenders in the back. Daniel Chamale, another Canadian import, along with second-year defender Drew Ruggles. Those guys really came to the forefront, plus picked up veteran Chad Vandegrift from St. Louis, and Chad was an outstanding presence in the back for Milwaukee as well. And then Robert Renaud, another rookie, French-Canadian forward that had some futsal background similar to Chamale and Lemos from Canada. Has played tremendously for Milwaukee, and has been a great compliment to Ian Bennett and Max Ferdinand running up front. So Coach Julian Oliviero did a great job of retooling this team in the offseason. And then after kind of a slow start, probably, everybody trying to figure out, get on the same page, really did a great job to mold this team, especially in the second half of the season.
Well, and talking a little bit more about one of those fresh faces you mentioned earlier, Josh Lemos, goalkeeper, has been a strong tradition in Milwaukee for the past several years. You've been lucky to have some great backstoppers. And then this year you start with Josh Lemos, who comes in as a virtual unknown to the league, and he really set the tone right away at the beginning of the season with some great games, and you could see his leadership start to develop, his confidence start to develop, and throughout the season he just became more of a veteran presence and more of a solid presence for the Milwaukee Wave in general.
Well, you can't be a good team in this league. Certainly, you can't be a great team in this league unless you have an excellent goalkeeper. Baltimore with Van Zela and Milwaukee certainly with Josh Lemos. Those are the two anchors for the teams. Stephen Patterson in Kansas City, I thought, was another young goalkeeper who really emerged this year. And again, that's one of the reasons why the Comets were so successful, was because Patterson was able to really be an excellent keeper in his first season as a regular. So there's no doubt Lemos has been one of the key men for Milwaukee this year, and he has certainly helped organize the Wave defensively as well, and his ability to handle the ball, his distribution, which of course, again, if you're a goalkeeper in indoor soccer, you've got to be able to be good with your feet as well as stopping shots.
Now, we can't talk about Milwaukee without talking about the dynamic duo in Ian Bennett and Max Ferdinand. They have played off each other so well this year, with Max coming in second. With Ian coming in second in scoring in the league this year, and Max leading the league in assists. What have they meant to each other, and what do they bring to this team that you can't find anywhere else?
Well, it's been some great synergism between those two guys. There's no question about it. Their second year as teammates, Max came over from Baltimore last year, and they did pretty well together last year, but they picked it up to a new level this season. And I like to call them the Waves IBM scoring processor, Ian Bennett plus Max. But no, they've just been tremendous, and very difficult for the opposing team to stop. Ian has definitely been a quality goal scorer for a long time in this league, but I think with the addition of Max the last couple of years, that has certainly enhanced his goal scoring ability, and has really set the tone for Milwaukee's attack.
All right. Well, we're getting down to crunch time here, and we're just moments away from kicking off Game 2 of the series. But before we do, we need to check in with Art Kramer and Baltimore Blast head coach Danny Kelly. Joined here by Commissioner Josh Schaub. Josh, thanks for coming out tonight. And just want to ask you, this is your first season as commissioner of the MASL. What's it been like in essentially your rookie year?
Sure. The business side, there hasn't been many surprises. I think I anticipate a lot of the issues coming in, and we've really resolved a lot of them. So long way to go on the business side. Excited to see the big upturn in attendance towards the end of the season and into the playoffs here. That's been really exciting. I think for me, the big learning curve has been the culture of arena soccer, the discipline issues that a commissioner has on their plate, seemingly on a weekly basis. So I learned a lot on that front. I'll be transitioning and carrying that into next season as well.
Now, we've seen a lot of positives coming from the league this year. Many of the teams have attendance growth that has been much higher than they've seen year to year. We've had some great attendance, great series so far in the playoffs, and some great rivalries reborn. Talk about what you see as far as the growth of the league and individually with some of the teams.
Sure, and it all goes back to philosophy of the brand, outcome of the games being in doubt, which I think we've clearly seen not only in the playoffs or the regular season. We had some great games where every team's fans thought that they had the ability to win that night, and then making sure there's an equal application for enforcement of the rules across the board on and off the field. So it starts there. What we see in these playoffs in particular is really tough matchups and a contrast in styles across the league too, which I think is really appealing for fans.
Yeah, I know when I first joined the league, I was hooked from game one, and then somebody said, whoa, you think this was great, wait till you see playoff soccer. What has the first Ron Newman Cup playoff season been like for you?
The intensity gets turned up so many notches when it comes to playoffs, both from ownership groups, from players, from the fans in general. Just being last week in San Diego and hearing Landon Donovan talk about his experience in San Diego really opened my eyes, because he was talking about the difference between outdoor and arena and really the intensity that gets picked up in playoffs here. It was eye-opening for me to hear someone that's been so involved with the game of soccer for so long say that. Really had an impact on me, and I think it's the truth across the board.
Now, one of the great things that you've done with this league is you've provided a lot of stability for the teams, for the league in general, and we've seen steady growth with MASL TV, with several other items across the league. What kinds of things are we working on throughout the offseason and things that fans can expect in next year?
Sure, and I think we're doing something right now. I hope the fans will see a lot more next year of more pregame digital content surrounding our players, our characters, our coaches, learning more about arena soccer. So we see MASL TV as really the portal into our world, right? This is how they see our platform. So we need to provide them more content, more knowledge, which will then spread the awareness of arena soccer. MASL 2 broadens that approach on a more physical level and a local level. So last weekend we had some great meetings with potential MASL 2 ownership groups. That is looking like we're going to have a start next fall. Feeling very good about that. And what that'll do is create more players, more arena players, which is important, because as we have players transition from outdoor to arena, they have a difficult transition, obviously, and we want to expedite that. Creating more referees, larger referee pool, getting them younger into this game, and coaches as well. And then we breed more fans, obviously, through another platform, really building the pyramid of arena soccer.
Well, and if that builds more teams and more rosters like we have remaining still in this tournament, I think a lot of fans will be really excited to see that develop. So let's talk about this tournament in general. These four teams have been some of the top teams throughout the season, and they show why they have been at the top of the league all season long. What do you think? Give your impressions of all four teams left.
Well, I'm going to speak in generalities, being the commissioner, so I'm not going to speak on the abilities of each team. But what I think is really cool about this tournament and where we've ended up with these four teams is it's truly international. So we have Mexico, we have Baltimore on the far east coast, Milwaukee here in the central, and then San Diego on the west coast. So it's a great representation of our whole country. And once again, going back to touch on the contrast in styles between the teams, and you see, the old MISL teams, the PASL team over in San Diego, and they just play different styles of arena soccer, and I think that's what's really cool about this tournament as we see more crossover in games, and really looking forward to a great championship between whichever two teams really come out of this.
All right, now fans are always asking, so we do need to ask about expansion opportunities and teams for next season.
Yeah, and expansion's exciting, right? We always want to talk about where's the next team, but as a commissioner, we have to be careful to only let in teams and markets that are viable. So we're going through the vetting process and the legal process to make sure that if we do have expansion, they're here to stay for a long time. So I ask our fans to just be patient as we jump through all the hoops, and I am a lawyer by trade, so I make sure we dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure everything's good to go. We will have announcements coming up shortly, and we hope to have a big press conference at the championship series.
All right. Commissioner Josh Schaub, thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll be right back on MASL TV.
Blast, and Coach Kelly, here we are again, Milwaukee, Baltimore. We've seen this through the years. What's different about this one as compared to the other ones?
I just think a lot of the personnel has changed. So, I think the rivalry was pretty much rekindled on last game there in Baltimore, and back in a familiar setting here in Milwaukee, of course, and expect obviously a great challenge tonight, a great game, and hopefully an entertaining game.
I always call you guys the Bon Jovi of the league. It's all the same. Only the names have changed, except for you and David Bascom and a couple of the others. But tell us, what are going to be the keys tonight to getting a victory and getting out of here and getting in the finals?
We got to play well defensively, period. That's the start of things, especially when you got guys like Max Ferdinand, Ian Bennett, Marcio Leite, a good young core of players that they have, Josh Lamos in goal, who's had an excellent season. We got to make sure that we limit those guys' opportunities as far as the big three. And play attention to detail. Do the little things well. We can't get caught in an up and down game with these guys. We know they got great speed. And play blast soccer. Defend well, create opportunities, and execute when we get them.
Got two teams that are experienced for the most part, I guess, from the coaching staff's point of view. How big are special teams in this? Restart, special teams, things like that?
They're always huge. They're always huge. I mean, I know, if you're going to be successful in games, you have to execute when you have those situations. So, we work on them. Can we execute? And that's going to be a challenge for us tonight as well.
I always told Coach Tozer, never wish the other coach best of luck, so I'm going to wish you all the best tonight, Coach.
No worries. I'll take it.
All right.
Game time. This is do or die for the team here against Baltimore. We've been in this situation before. Over the past 15 years, it's been these two teams. It's been us two with the championships. Are we ready to go here?
Yeah, it's exactly what you want. It's the Wave versus the Blast. They're the defending champs, and we're in a position that we were in last week, and our players are confident. We're young, kind of got a nothing to lose attitude, and we're in our own building, so we're really looking forward to tonight.
Does that take less off of the game, one loss, coming back here home, playing in front of our home fans?
Oh, the way we lost was tough. We felt we were the better team in Baltimore. It would have been nice to be up 1-0, but at the end of the day, we had to take care of business tonight either way.
We expect Danny Kelly and everyone to bring their A game. We're ready to react.
They're an experienced team. They're defending champs for a reason. Danny's a great coach. They got some leadership. Their goalkeeping's been fantastic, and they're ready. We're ready. It's going to be a great night.
We've been saying win or go home. We don't want to go home yet. It's been quite a storied season for us. Let's finish the task.
We got a great group of guys this year, and we want it to continue, and we're going to put our best foot forward, and we're going to lay everything on the line from the opening whistle to the final whistle, and hopefully get this game, get it to a mini game.
All right, head coach Julian Olivier, thank you, Coach. The Milwaukee Wave, the Baltimore Blast, the storied game here as the MASL Eastern Conference Finals, Game 2, next here from UW Milwaukee Panther Arena.
And so a great rendition of our national anthem to get us ready for tonight's game.
I got to ask you, Tom, was that Sheriff Clark playing there? That looked like Sheriff David Clark, didn't it?
Sort of did. Kind of hard without the cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat, right?
Kind of hard to recognize. But nice rendition there as the Blue Angels fly over. And so once again, we greet you from wherever you may be tuning in here in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, the state of Wisconsin, the United States of America, the Northern Hemisphere, the planet Earth, the International Space Station, the solar system, or worlds beyond. Tom went along with Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. We get set for Game 2 of the 2017 MASL Eastern Conference Finals, Wave and the Blast.
Or Tom, Charm City. I'm sure there's a few in Charm City that are tuning in. Here we are again, huh?
Here we are
Wave and
again.
the Blast. How many memorable matchups have we seen throughout the years, Tom? A pleasure to be a part of these matchups, and I'm looking forward to this one, man.
No question about it. Our 8th time that these teams have met in the postseason. Baltimore holds the edge 4-3. Of course, when you talk about the postseason history between these clubs, Art, some great memories on both sides. Certainly Baltimore in the last Wave game ever played across the street at the BMOC Bradley Center, coming up with a come-from-behind championship victory. And with that man right there next to Van McNeil, Michael King being one of the stars of Milwaukee back then. In fact, Michael King played his final game ever for the Wave against the Blast in the 2008 postseason series between these teams.
Look at Kinger, man. He looks like he can still play. And you see the gentleman right in front of him. There he is, the deuce, Troy Dosowski. Sure those fans back in Baltimore are loving seeing Troy. And Troy's twin brother Todd was in town here just this past weekend. I got to spend a little time with them on St. Patrick's Day morning over at Slim McGinn's. Todd's doing well, as is Troy. You can see Troy looking really good.
The twin tandem, 2 of the 6 numbers retired, along with Michael King, a third on that banner that hangs here at the UWMP Arena. Troy was a member of the last 2 Wave championship teams, which ironically beat the Baltimore Blast to win their titles in 2011 and 2012.
Well, we've danced on their turf, and they've danced on ours. And nothing more memorable in my mind was Dennison Cabral jumping off the boards after a 12-4 come-from-behind Blast win. 13-12 win that day in Milwaukee.
The controversial goal scored by Lance Johnson. But nonetheless, the last Wave game ever played at the Bradley Center before more than 12,000 fans. Very disappointing ending to the season there. But again, the Wave coming back to return the favor, if you will, to the Blast back in 11 and 12. So this is the first postseason meeting between these clubs in 5 years underway. Milwaukee in the black uniforms. They'll go left to right as we face the action here at the arena. Max Ferdinand breaking away, trying to go 2-on-1 with Bennett. Lays it off again. Bennett coming in. Save made. Vanzela. Rebound. Follow. Knocked in. Rebound. Follow. Matos. And that one just knocked down in front of the goal. So a good barrage by the Wave to start it off. Meanwhile, Baltimore sends it up ahead. Datas coming in, and nice hustle back by Chamale to check him off the play. So Baltimore on a counter breakaway, almost able to grab the lead after the Wave was rebuffed in a couple of chances.
Well, it was Rayleigh, number 13, on the goal line who saved not once, but twice.
We also have Jeff Husted from the league office, also the Kansas City broadcast team, joining us here.
Thanks, guys. It's an honor to be a part of this crew tonight. What a great start to the game.
Definitely a great opening minute, and great to have Jeff aboard. He'll provide some sideline analysis for us. He's down in the trenches.
Jeff's our Tony Siragusa down there, former Baltimore Raven.
I'll take that as a compliment, although my playing days are far behind me.
You're a little lighter than Siragusa, I must say.
Thank you very much, sir.
And now you see William Vanzela, the Baltimore keeper, apparently getting the wind knocked out of him a bit there. Scramble in front of the goal with Renault trying to take a poke at it, and not sure who caught Vanzela there. Let's take a look. Another look here. You see Renault coming in, and
it was just a shot there, Tom, by Renault that knocked the wind out of William there, but can't overstate the importance of these goalkeepers here tonight. Josh Lamos in the net for the Waves in the pink jersey, and that man right there, William Vanzela.
Vanzela under
perennial
pressure.
all-star.
In his 5th year with the Blast, Vanzela, he was the #1 keeper in the league during the regular season. Josh Lemos, his counterpart, the rookie for the Wave, was #4, as you see a tumbling Andrew Hoxie go over Lemos there and commit the foul.
Well, both goalkeepers feeling it a little bit here as Hoxie runs over Ruggles and then into Josh Lemos. You see him come over with that big right boot, probably a size 12 or 13.
Hoxie, a big guy at 6'4", one of the taller strikers in this league. Now Milwaukee gets it back. Speaking of tall guys, their tallest player, Andre Hain, coming upfield. Nice play by Pereira to check him off. Andre's still going. Hain coming in, and a shot save Vanzela. Oh, Andre with a good move there to create the opportunity. Andre had a couple of assists in the opener of this series. And again, he has really come on for Milwaukee the second half of the season after being plagued by ankle injury in the first half.
Vanzela with an excellent job to come out and cut down the angle of Hain and make a big stop there at the top of the box.
Headed away. That was Guilherme Vega Wave defender making the play there. Guilherme did not play in the first game, but he's in the lineup now with the absence of Chad Vandergriff. Chad, the veteran defender, knocked out of the lineup due to injury as that ball played ahead for Eder Nelson. Couldn't quite get it as Vanzela scoops it up. Good to have a guy like Vega, though, who's also a veteran. He's got some experience after a couple of years with the Chicago Mustangs. Now in his first season with Milwaukee. He's been plagued by a hip injury suffered early in the year, but got a little playing time late in the season. And there you get a look at Guilherme right there. So hopefully he's ready for tonight.
First restart opportunity. Ryan Sigich, the veteran referee, makes the call. Blast with a good opportunity here on the restart. We talked to Danny Kelly before the game, and he mentioned how big these restart situations are going to be.
Kick saved by Lemos right there, as Baltimore will try to recycle out near midfield. Now Tony Donatelli gives it a whack into the zone. Vega checks off Dantas on the play. I'll tell you, who's ever marking Dantas is going to have his hands full, just like who's ever trying to mark the Waves' Ian Bennett for Baltimore.
So much for these teams coming out and feeling each other out, Tom. The first 3.5 minutes has been up and down with both goalkeepers making some big saves.
Had a very active tempo in game one, an 8-7 overtime Baltimore victory. So far, pace is accelerated here to begin this one. Still looking for our first goal, nearly 4 minutes into the match. There you see Lemos. He is not afraid to bring the ball up to his own half of midfield. I don't think we're going to see Vanzela handling the ball as far away from the goal.
Not part of his style. He prefers to get rid of it early. Good distributor of the ball, no question about that, but prefers to do it from inside his own box or near his own yellow line.
Vanzela, like Lemos, a pretty smooth distributor. You're not going to see too many turnovers from either of these guys. And of course, that's part of being a good indoor keeper. You got to be able to play with your feet.
And you, to your point right there, a good ball to split two Wave attackers.
Shot just over the bar, and the follow-up inside is popped up into the stands. Goalkeeper distribution for Lemos and the Wave. It was Daniel Peruzzi with the second effort there. I checked that. Jonatas Mello, who scored the game winner, the overtime game winner the other night in Baltimore. 48 seconds into OT. Game one had a little bit of everything. And so for the fans who watched game one, definitely had to be looking forward to game two. Lemos with a little trickery there on the outlet to Chamali. Chamali, by the way, just turned 24 a few days ago. And
Lemos taking a page out of Shep Messing, the old New York Arrow goalkeeper, with that distribution right there. Shep was known for his bit of flair in the way he played the positions in his distribution.
Shep, of course, longtime goalkeeper and now color commentator, one of the best in the business. Still working out in the New York area. Chamali trying a little step over, but the defender Nelson Santana not going for it. Now Ricardinho trying to play it off the end board, looking for Bennett in front. It's swept away. And the Blast will move it out of the zone.
Good little step over move that time by Ricardinho from right to left.
Leite will play it back to Lemos, and Lemos draws the foul as
once again, number 4, Mr. Hoxie.
Not a good foul by Hoxie as the play was already made, and you see Lemos is down. And
Lemos took a little bit too long there, and you see Hoxie coming in there with the left foot this time and gets Lemos right in the right ankle. Josh rolling around in pain down there.
A lot of concern you could imagine on the Milwaukee bench.
Speaking of concern, Tom, I walked into the Wave practice session yesterday, and as I walked in, they are carrying Ian Bennett off the floor. And Went up to Jules. I said, "Is he okay?" Jules said, "He'll be fine. He's okay."
That would be concerning.
Yes.
No doubt. Nelson looking to play it in for Hand. But the Blast comes up with it. So you've got Leite, Hand out there right now, along with Eder Nelson.
Apparently, Ian blocked a shot during practice, and that right knee buckled out under him a little bit. Looking out there, I was looking out there for Tim Tima. If somebody's shot who buckled somebody's knee. I thought Tima was out there taking shots. It's either Tima or Greg Howes.
Those guys could certainly. Jeremy Aldrich, another guy I can recall, Art.
I say Tim Tima with tongue in cheek, because Tima is probably top the radar gun at about 65 miles an hour. Housey was at about 80. Jeremy Aldrich in the high 70s.
All right, Renault back for Vega. Approaching midway point here in the first period, still looking for the first goal. Ferdinand trying to slip it through. Blast eventually clears it. Datas with it. Datas with pretty good speed for a big guy, and well done by Robert Renault to check him off the ball. Matos will play it back for Lemos. As again, Baltimore backs off on the pressure.
Both teams running at the other team's goalie with no success at all. As both goalkeepers cool as cucumbers here, working the ball out of the back.
Lemos will chip one in for Daniel Matos. Matos just turning 31 yesterday. Driven in by Chamale.
Pat Healy back there doing a good job to keep his arm tucked into his side, not run the risk of a potential handball being called.
And they'll have official timeout. Let's send it down to Jeff Husted. Jeff, what do you got for us?
As they can. It looks like Milwaukee is good to play with all 6 players on the field, using Josh Lemos all the way up the field. At the same time, Baltimore has no fear bringing up Tony Donatelli and Hoxie to come and pressure Josh Lemos. They saw what they did last week, what Milwaukee did against Stevie Patterson and the Comets. They're trying to use that pressure and force mistakes and try for some more of that. But it's been a great start to a great game so far.
Hey, Jeff, got to ask you, man. How come Van, who's standing just to your right, how come he's got a white towel? Where's your towel, man?
I got to earn that, my man.
He looks like Van looks like Tark the Shark down there.
Well, Van's put in his time down here. He's earned his towel. This is my first time. I gotta work my way up.
If you start sweating, just reach over with the right hand, grab Van's towel, and you can wipe your brow with it. There you go.
I'll do it. All right.
Van's towel, Tom.
That could be a very dangerous thing to do, but if anybody can handle it, I believe Jeff Husted can. Well, I'll tell you, that great vantage point to be down there, you can really feel the intensity.
Yeah, how do you get that shot? What am I? I'm up here in the nosebleed. Jeff's down there on the floor. What's up with that?
Well, I tell you, I'm up in the nosebleeds in Kansas City calling the game, and it is a much different game down here. I'm sweating just watching these guys down here.
All right, back in play as Lemos will bring it up. Again, Milwaukee goes left to right here in the first period. Haven't been a plethora of chances here so far. Milwaukee has had the better of them. But
game really settled down, Tom, after that first 4 minutes. The last 6 or so really kind of settled in.
And you would think the slower pace would favor the Blast, as Vanzela's got to make a good save there. Boy, what a turning move by Bennett.
I think that shot surprised Vanzela. Good job for him to react, though, and make the save.
Dos Santos, pressured from Ferdinand, who will chase Vanzela to the other side. Ricardinho got tangled up at midfield with Peruzzi, but no call. And now all the way back Jeremy Raley controls. Raley, a second-year man out of St. Bonaventure. He's a Maryland native originally. So you know he probably grew up following the Blast.
And the referee crew has really set the tone here, Tom, in allowing these teams to play. It's only been 1 or 2 foul calls here in the early going.
Lemos looking for Chamali out of the back. Peruzzi knocks it away. Lemos will have to reload.
Which I must say, as a former player and coach in many of these wars, that's the way we prefer it. Let the players play.
Marcio looking across. Pass deflected up in the air. Dantas with a huge advantage over Ricardinho, trying to head that one away, and now he brings it in. Ricardinho giving up about 80 pounds in that matchup. Shot by Dantas, just wide. Raley will cut it back to the left foot. He made a nice move, but mishit it, and a goalkeeper distribution for Lemos and the Wave.
Good recognition that time by Vinny Dantas to see the smaller Ricardinho on him. He makes that move to the right. Good kick save there by Lemos.
Andre Hain trying to see if he can control at midfield. Eventually Santana had it, and Andre gives him a little love tap. Santana picked up this season by the Blast. Veteran presence. He's been around indoor soccer for about a dozen years.
Veteran antagonizing presence.
Yeah.
Nelson Santana.
Oh, what a save there by Lemos! Off the chip from Andrew Hoxie.
Well, Vega went down and it allowed Hoxie to find some space, but Andrew didn't put enough on that shot to get it by Lemos. Oh, and this could be the first blue card of the game.
Boy, they were thinking about it.
Yes, sir. That was close.
As Pereira nailed Marcio Leite. And goes over to apologize to Leite as Marcio tries to recover there. Marcio missing the first 17 games of the regular season.
We'll take another look, and that's what Marcio's asking Ryan. See, here's the chance by Hoxie. You see Hoxie just wasn't able to get enough on it to get it by Lemos.
Had the right idea, and still Lemos had to make a great save.
And here's the foul we were just talking about. Let's watch this late challenge right there with the right foot to the knee. And that in the regular season, Tom, that's 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's
Ryan Sigich, I still say to his credit, allowing these teams to play here early on.
Renault in the corner. Being marked very closely. Robert now trying to get top of the area. And his left foot shot partially blocked and secured by Van Zela. Tenzin Rampa was poaching at the far post, and that one got through. Tenzin might have put it in. Ruggles battling down there with Tatas. He's got his hands full in that matchup. Vinny trying to slob between a couple of defenders. Lost it. Now Renault trying to start up, but it's poked away. Lemos has it. Looking to throw long for Renault. Over Santana coming in with Ruggles. Lays it off. Shot and goal! And Milwaukee grabs a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, the Wave strikes first, and it was a really poor decision that time by Nelson Santana, the Baltimore defender, to try to win that long throw by Lemos. And when he didn't, it allowed a 2-0 against Van Zela, who had no chance. And Ruggles actually fanned on that shot, but luckily for him, watch this here. Fans on it, it comes off his right, his left, his right, then back off his left and behind the Baltimore goalkeeper. But a really, really poor decision by Santana outside the yellow line to try to win that initial throw that led to that goal.
I'm not even sure Santana in his younger days could have got up high enough to head that one away.
He tried to climb the ladder, but no reason to try to win that ball there. Just get goal side. And that chance doesn't happen.
So the Wave grabs a lead on Drew Ruggles' 4th goal of the postseason. Drew has really turned it on offensively here in the postseason. Now, shot turned away. Dos Santos trying to see if he could beat Lemos to the near post. And as they scrap for it to the near side, foul is going to be called on Dos Santos. Wave with a quick restart. Bennett looks for Chamali far side. Daniel just turning 24 last week. Ferdinand will knock it back to Lemos. Robert Renault picks up his 2nd assist, 4th point of the playoffs.
talked about the poor decision by Santana, and actually in overtime the other night, it was a poor decision by Max Ferdinand to dive in on the winning goal in overtime that led to the Baltimore goal.
That one deflected out of bounds in the Blast defensive end without touching turf board or glass, so Wave is going to get a free kick top of the arc.
Restart opportunity number 1 for the Wave.
Max scored on this very same situation in Baltimore in game 1. And he's on the ball again. Comes down, shot, a goal! Drew Ruggles! 2-0 Milwaukee.
Yesterday after practice, Drew Ruggles was working on that exact restart. He must have hit 20 to 30 balls that I saw, and that practice helps make perfect as Ruggles finishes off the restart, and the Wave with a 2-0 lead. You saw Ferdinand with a ball on the outside of the foot. That ball bouncing a little bit, but Ruggles did well to stay over the top of it and beat Van Zela up high. Look at Williams' hands, down low, and he went down as well. Hand down, man down, as Mark Jackson likes to say. Keep those hands up and stand tall. That time William went down early.
So Drew's got both goals for Milwaukee, 5 in the postseason. He is now second on the team goal scoring list in the postseason. Ian Bennett with 8 tops the Wave and the lead. Ruggles during the regular campaign, 4 goals in 18 games, so he has really turned up the pace here in the postseason. Let's send it down to Jeff Husted.
Yeah, you know, I was at that practice yesterday too, and not only were they practicing that time after time after time again, but you may see that in different variations. Before you got there, Art, Drew Ruggles was taking that shot, then he was passing it back to Max. So they're working that angle on the restart every time, and expect to see quite a bit of that later on today.
Good point, Jeff, and we've seen it, Tom. As the season has worn on, the Wave has taken a much more direct approach. We saw a lot of double passing early in the season, and toward the second half of the season, a lot of direct shooting that have resulted in some goals, and this time just one pass to Ruggles, and he did a good job finishing. You know, Tom, you and I watch a lot of Milwaukee Bucks basketball, and Ted Davis, the play-by-play broadcaster, and analyst Dennis Krause, they pick a player to watch for each game, right? So who would we have probably picked, right? Max Ferdinand, Ian Bennett, Drew Ruggles? Drew Ruggles, 2 goals already.
He has been the man for the Wave offensively. Boy, look at Eder Nelson start out of the back with Renault. Robert coming in, fires a shot just wide. Put it to the far post, and maybe it goes in, maybe one of your teammates puts it in. It was close. Great run up the field that time by Nelson to set it up.
Great speed by Nelson to start that break, and unfortunately that pass from Renault was just up a little bit too high. Had he kept it lower, Eder would have had a tap in.
Wave trying to see if they can keep the momentum rolling here in the first period. Again, Milwaukee needs to win this game to force a mini game, game 3, immediately following this one.
Another good restart opportunity here for the Wave. You know, Tom, they say in outdoor soccer, the most dangerous lead is a 2-goal lead, right? I think for the Milwaukee Wave, the most dangerous lead is a 3-goal lead. Do we want to go up 3?
Well, especially if it's 6-3. Milwaukee has had a 6-3 lead in game 1 of each of its last 2 playoff series, both into the third period, and hasn't been able to hang on. So, but I'll take my chances with a 3-0 lead in the first period.
And interesting, Giuliano Oliviero choosing to take a timeout this early in the game, understanding the importance of jumping on the blast. And I love the 2 different approaches. Jules has got the clipboard, going to draw up the play. The blast, they all just stand down there. They don't come over for defensive restarts. Quite honestly, they never have. They've always, Danny Kelly has just put the trust in the players on the field. You know, he's a stickler for detail, Danny Kelly. But he chooses to focus on those details in training rather than in the game.
Jeff, do you get a feel that Baltimore needs a stop here, perhaps to bay a bit?
You know, they're right now they're not over there talking with Danny, but they are talking right now about positioning and placement, and especially on the runs. Not only is Ruggles causing problems for them on the back end, but you got guys like Renault who are making some strong runs, far crossing runs, which is opening space for other guys, and they're not filling that back space on the Baltimore end. That's what they're discussing right there on the side.
All right, let's see what Milwaukee does here. Leite on the ball. He'll chip over the top, and the header just wide. Rebound, follow, score! You gotta be kidding! Ruggles! 3-0 Milwaukee. And the hats might come flying. This is one of the fastest natural hat tricks in Wave history of any sort.
See the restart, a good ball that time by Leite to start it off, and Bennett with a head ball off the glass. That ball actually hit Max Ferdinand, who'll pick up an assist. Watch this. Right here, it takes a deflection, I believe, off Ferdinand, and then no chance for Vanzela, who tried to come across with the left hand.
13-11 the time of the goal. Ruggles 3 goals in 1 minute 54 seconds of postseason. Not Michael King, not Greg Howes, not Todd Dusowski, not anybody up on the banner or in Wave history has scored 3 that quickly in a postseason game. I'm not even sure in a regular game.
Well, remember back in 1998, Tom, I believe it was Chris Jarr in Game 5 who had a hat trick for the Wave, a Wave defender. And so here's another Wave defender, Drew Ruggles. The only difference is this hat trick is in the first quarter as opposed to Jarr did it in the entire game. Is that 98, Tom?
98 in the clinching game. And I remember he hit that bomb from midfield just over the keeper's outstretched arms for St. Louis. Now here comes Andre Hayne. Andre, last one off the board. He knew Bennett was on the far wing trying to play one off the end panel to get it to him. It did, but Ian's got to reload on the play. Milwaukee's confidence soaring offensively right now.
That's what's been one of the most impressive things about this team this year, Tom, has been their confidence. Coming in down 1-0 against the defending champion Baltimore Blast, you'd have thought there had been some nerves, but the Wave showing no signs of any nerves here in the early going in this one.
Nice slip through there. Now Chamali pushes up 4-on-3. Daniel, a couple of stepovers, hammers a shot just wide. Remember Vanzela during the regular season yielding only about 3.5 goals per game. The Wave did hit him for 7 in a 7-2 victory here during the regular campaign. Otherwise, Vanzela limited them to 4 goals on a 4-3 loss and 2 goals on a 5-2 win. Renault with a leaping volley effort. That would have made it 4-0.
We've seen in both the Kansas City series and now in this one how important momentum has been. Can the Wave keep this momentum going into the second quarter?
Well, there's the man of the first quarter, Drew Ruggles, a natural hat trick to put Milwaukee up 3-0. And so we'll take a break and come back with more.
Wave fans, make some noise!
Take a miracle, looking like plays it in, headed down, Marcio across, shot a goal!
Oh my,
Yeah!
this is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, Tom. I don't know if they can go to instant replay, but I don't know if that ball was in before that horn sounded. It was extremely close, man.
And the shot saved Warburg, and he punches away.
Been off his line way early, but Blue Odd scores anyway.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all-natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max, drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Drew Ruggles, the man of the match thus far for Milwaukee. He scores not one, not two, but coming up, 3 goals in the first period to put the Wave up 3-0.
The second one a restart goal, and the third one a second chance restart goal. Won't be credited as a restart goal, but it was off the restart opportunity.
Art, you made a great point, though, in the first period about the Waves dramatically increased efficiency on the restarts. And certainly the first period was a great example of that.
Give Giuliano Oliviero, Marcelo Fontana, Nick Vorberg, the coaching staff credit for changing the approach. It's not working. Change your approach.
Drew Ruggles picks up the foul there. Remember, in the MASL, you get 3 personal fouls in each half. On your 4th, your team gives up a 2-minute power play. Here comes Pat Healy, the veteran defender, on the restart. Pat had announced his retirement prior to the start of the season, but then came back for the second half of the campaign. Had 2 goals and 8 assists in a dozen games for the Blast. And really, he's like another coach on the field. His father, Kevin, the longtime general manager of the Blast. So if there's anybody who knows indoor soccer, it's Pat Healy.
Smart player, no question about it. We saw Kevin Healy and owner Ed Hale down in the tunnel before the game today. Good to see both those guys here in Milwaukee.
2 longtime major contributors to the sport, for sure. Nice block there, as I think it was Matos that got over to make the block on the far side. Ferdinand trying to work his way up the near board as he takes a check from Hoxie. And they play on as Dos Santos over there badgering his former teammate. And finally, foul is called. Just too much persistent contact down there on the near board. And Santana wondering how come he got the foul when 2 of his teammates probably got in better shots there.
See Drew Ruggles with some of the best hair in the league, and Andrew Hoxie was certainly the best mustache in the league.
No doubt about Hoxie's mustache. He could have played for the 72 Oakland A's with that mustache.
He could have done a lot of things with that mustache, Tom. We're not going to mention him, though.
Milwaukee with it, going right to left. Renault trying to slip it through for Bennett, but broken up. Wave is keeping the pressure on as Ricardinho trying to pressure. Van Zela has to step out and pop one up to midfield. Renault gets it on the position against Dantas. Cleared back. Chamali will track it down from Milwaukee. Chamali, Limos, and Renault, 3 rookies, all from Canada, and they have done tremendously. There's another Canadian, Ian Bennett, who has been a longtime star here in Milwaukee. Career high 53 goals for Ian during the regular season, and leads the league with 8 in the postseason so far, although Drew Ruggles with a hat trick already today, not far behind with 6. Limos has some room, and as we've seen, he's not afraid to take it up to midfield. Very confident with his ball handling. Now he puts it off for Andre Hain. That one slips past Andre, pressuring the goalkeeper Van Zela. Again, Andre, those long legs, you've got to be very wary as a keeper when he's running at you. Driven in by Healy, and foul going to be called Dantas for a handball. Ramos chips one over the top, beautifully done, looking for Eder Nelson, but a nice defensive play by Dos Santos to knock it away. Now Ferdinand steps up to get it. Max, nice move there, but it ran up on his wrist, and so he draws the foul.
Talked about Ed Hale being in attendance here. We know there's a lot of fans around the MASL that aren't fans of Ed Hale, but I tell you what, Tom, the guy is East Coast. He's East Coast tough. He has the philosophy, it is what it is, kind of an East Coast philosophy, and I think that's part of his charm. And those of us from Milwaukee who have competed against the Baltimore Blast for years and years, we understand that without the Baltimore Blast, the entertainment value of the Milwaukee Wave drops considerably.
Excellent point. Here's Nelson coming in better with the left foot chip. Up out of play, so goalkeeper distribution coming for Vanzela in the blast. Yeah, whatever your feelings about Ed Hale as a fan, I totally agree. You got to give him credit. He has put a lot of financial resources and heart and soul into the Baltimore Blast, and they have become one of the iconic teams. I mean, basically the 4 iconic franchises of indoor soccer are Baltimore, Milwaukee, San Diego, and Kansas City.
And I can tell you, going back to the days with Coach Tozer, and I was coach's assistant, we've got a tremendous amount of respect for Kevin Healy, Ed Hale, Danny Kelly, and the Baltimore Blast. In fact, whoever wins this series, if it's not the Milwaukee Wave, I, for one, will be rooting for the Baltimore Blast if they go on to represent the Eastern Conference in the MASL Finals. And I would think that there's a lot of Blast fans out there that would be saying the same if the Wave ends up victorious in this series.
And more than likely, it's going to be Soles de Sonera. Big win in San Diego last Sunday to grab a 1-0 lead in the Western Finals, and now the Sockers face the almost impossible task of trying to go down to the miniature pitch in Sonora before what will, I'm sure, will be a ravenous 6,000 or 7,000 fans in Hermosillo and try to win not only the regulation game, but a minigame. Here's a giveaway here as Ian Bennett comes up. Not saying impossible. San Diego's a good team, but that is a whole different environment.
Pull out the video of the Baltimore Blast going there last year and do it. What does it take? It takes that East Coast toughness, that commitment and willingness to defend and sacrifice your body to get a result. We saw it last year with the Blast in Sonora.
That was a great victory in Baltimore. Maybe their greatest of all their 8 championship victories. Hayne tripped down, foul is called. Well, this next goal, wherever it comes from, is going to be big. If Milwaukee gets it, then they continue momentum. Baltimore gets it, and they're right back in this thing. Marcio launches, just wide, rebound, follow, Ruggles! He almost had number 4.
What's wrong with that guy? Come on, Ruggles, it's right on your right foot. You got to bury that.
Boy, I'll tell you, he is getting the ball in great scoring position tonight. Hayne, the second-year man out of Lindenwood University in St. Louis. Andre, a Brazilian native. This game has quite a bit of Brazilian flair. Wave and the Blast with several Brazilian natives on their squads. Here's Ruggles trying to post up. Taken away by Donatelli, but now out to Ferdinand. They clear out. Max trying to go one-on-one against the defender. Santana fires a left footer just above the frame. Vanzela might have gotten a piece of it. Blast trying to move it out. Kept alive. Ruggles now shot, driven wide. I think that might have been Ricardinho there. And now good distribution there. As Peruzzi moves forward, but a bad pass. Here's Ferdinand coming on. Max cuts it back. Max with a shot and a kick save made by Vanzela. Max was just hung up a little bit as he tried to maneuver around the defender. But still, it got off a pretty good shot and a nice save by Vanzela.
After a bad giveaway by Dantas in the neutral zone.
Thought that might have been Peruzzi that, but nonetheless, you're right. That was very untimely. Played it back, and all of a sudden, Ferdinand was right there, walking in against a defender and the keeper.
The numbers on these Blast jerseys have always been difficult to
Very
decipher.
difficult to decipher. That's an
Especially
understatement.
A couple old guys like us, Tom, trying to figure this out.
Not designed for broadcasters over 50, I can tell you that much. As Healy chips one down, trying to see if he could possibly catch Josh Lemos away from the net. Take a look at it one more time as Max with the crossover on Healy, and he tries to nutmeg Vanzela. Good positioning there by Vanzela. Vanzela's had to come up with a couple of good saves now since the Wave jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Again, Drew Ruggles with the hat trick in the first quarter to account for the scoring. Rayleigh with a good sliding effort to knock that one forward. Now Vega will settle for Milwaukee. Jamali back for Lemos. Getting some pressure. He'll play it back for Chamale. Daniel Conley slides it over his defensive partner, Guilherme Vega. And now Lemos.
You got to wonder if Danny Kelly is considering picking and choosing when they want to pressure Lemos, because they're going to expend a lot of energy trying to get back in this.
Bennett with a shot. Save made by Venzela. Midway through the second quarter, we'll have our media timeout coming up, and then we'll bring in Jeff Husted. Again, get some of his observations once we finally get the timeout here. Jeff is down in the sidelines, right in the heart of the action with public addresser Van McNeil down there. Way puts it back in as they will cycle it back up for Lemos. Milwaukee needs to win this one to force a minigame to decide the series. And the minigame, the equivalent of a 15-minute game or one quarter, would take place immediately following this one. 15-minute break and then 15-minute minigame, and then if it's still tied, then we go to golden goal overtime, which is the same manner in which the Wave defeated the Kansas City Comets in the first round.
One of the keys winning in Baltimore, anytime I would go there with the Wave, was your possession in the middle third of the field. And right now, the Blast giving the ball away far too many times in the middle third of the field in this game.
All right, let's go down to Jeff Husted. Jeff, what's it look like?
It seems like down 3-0, you would start and pushing and trying to find that next goal. But Danny Kelly came in. He's got a plan. He knows it's a long game. They're not going to change up their system. You touched on it a minute ago. They're going to pick and choose when they pressure Lemos, try to force him into errors, and then at times they're going to let him bring the ball up and shorten the field and crunch the midfielders in on the far corner. He's got his times when he's going to do that back and forth. They've discussed that. And right now, I don't think they're going to be changing their plans up even down 3-0.
Jeff, you know, I agree, Jeff, but as a former player, if something's not working, you got to wonder how long these players are going to continue to believe in the plan because, you know, it's great. The plan's great, but and you haven't scored and you're down multiple goals, the tendency of players is to want to do their own thing.
You've seen it before, and in fact, in Baltimore, down 6-3, you did see the Baltimore Blast try to get out of their system a little bit, but once they got that one score in, they went right back to their defensive Baltimore Blast soccer, and that's where they worked back into that game. You could see that, especially being down 3-0 going into going towards halftime. But like I said, their general idea is to keep with their plan, regardless.
Well, one thing we have seen from Baltimore in this series is that they do have some firepower if needed be. You know, they were 15th in the league in goals scored, just 113 during the regular season, but #1 in goals allowed, giving up just 69. The Wave, conversely, 135 goals scored, 7th in the league, only 103 yielded defensively.
And Jeff's right. They do rely on their system and their plan. Milwaukee Wave, what Giuliano Oliviero's got to be telling his guys is stay out of the penalty box. Don't do anything silly that's going to be able to potentially change the momentum.
Andre Hain chasing Santana, who plays it out. Peruzzi trying to maneuver, and he is dumped on the play, and the foul is called. He's holding his right leg, right knee.
Remember, Tom, it was the Wave with a 6-3 lead in Kansas City, and it was a penalty in that game towards the end of the third, early in the fourth quarter, that started the turnaround. Bennett missed a breakaway that would have, a shorthanded breakaway that would have made it 7-3, but Kansas City eventually came back to win. And then in Baltimore, it was a Drew Ruggles penalty that helped turn that game around. So the Wave right now, got to learn from what changed the momentum in those two previous games and make sure they don't allow that to happen again.
Moxley off the inboard, trying to see if he could make the connection in the middle with Travis Pittman. Pittman, a third-year player out of West Virginia University. First time we've seen him in the postseason for Baltimore. There's a shot by Hoxie, but then Lemos able to stay down and make the save.
You know, a goalkeeper's sharp. Not only does he make the save, but he catches it clean. Time Josh Lemos made a difficult shot look very routine.
Matos gets it back from the keeper, plays it back to him. Pittman trying to chase right now for the Blast. Ferdinand with it in the middle. Looking for Bennett. Near side, Ricardinho chucked into the boards by Pittman. Foul is called. Ricardinho Sobraya.
Old school that time by Ricardinho to feel the contact and go down heavily into the boards.
He only weighs 130 pounds.
No. Wasn't too heavily into the boards, huh?
Vega gets that rebound as Bennett will load it up for a shot. Vanzela had a good look at that. Turns
Nope.
it away.
Not going to beat Vanzela from there.
About 5 minutes to go here in the first half as Pereira and Chamali with a good collision there.
Yes, indeed.
Play on. Boy, I'll tell you that is a good example of some of the intensity we've seen here tonight. Wade moves it up quickly. Here comes Ricardinho with Renault and Bennett trying to go 3-on-3. And Ricardinho trying to do a little too much there as he had it poked away. Dantas. And he's fouled by Vega. Guillermo goes over to help him up.
Not a bad foul there by Vega. You've got the other team's big striker. He got his back to the goal in the middle third of the field. That's the opportunity to go ahead and take your shots when you can without drawing 2-minute penalties.
Dantas appears to be okay, but I'm sure that did not feel very good at all.
No. Once again, understanding the tendencies of the referee early on, they're going to let him play, so you might as well go ahead and take your shot as long as you don't overdo it.
No blue cards issued as of yet by officials Ryan Sigich and Brian Martin. Chamali trying to work his way out of the back. All 3 goals scored in the first period, all 3 by Milwaukee defender Drew Ruggles, the second-year man out of Georgia Southern.
You made the point about the referees, Tom. I think it's got to be a mauling today before you see a blue card. There's been a little bit too much talk about referees here in the playoffs thus far. I think these guys want to stay out of it.
Leite looking in, trying to go for a hand. And now knocked down by Rampa at the top of the area, cleared out. And the Wave will recycle. 3.5 to go here in the first half. If you're looking for good omens as far as Wave postseason history, Milwaukee is 17-3 at home in Game 2s, including the Game 2 victory over the Kansas City Comets last week. Game 3, not as much if we force the minigame. Milwaukee 4-8, but again, they are coming off a victory over KC to get to this series. First time in 4 years, actually 5 years, Milwaukee was able to beat Kansas City. Matos coming in off a beautiful dish that time from Ferdinand. Leite battling for the rebound. Baltimore digs it out. Donatelli looking upfield and is able to make the connection.
So much fun to watch both of these goalkeepers work. That time it was Vanzela's turn to kick out the left leg to Rob Matos after a beautiful ball by Ferdinand.
Tell you, Vanzela has really had to come up big here.
Yes, he
in the
has.
second period. Even the Blast, as capable they are, certainly does not want to fall behind 4-0.
We talked about momentum, and it's much easier to get that momentum going when you're at home as opposed to on the road.
2 minutes left to go, first half. Healy will run up to head that one as Chamali heads it back for Milwaukee. Rayleigh will send it back in for Baltimore. Hoxie with those long legs, able to track it down the near board. The veteran out of William and Mary, nudging it toward the goal, and somehow Lemos, or a defender, able to clear it away. Well, But Hoxie, again, his reach is everywhere with that 6'4" frame. Blast trying to see if they can stick one in before halftime. That would be huge if they could. But that man right there, Josh Lemos, has been covering everything so far for Milwaukee.
Covering everything, Tom, and I don't believe he's given the ball away one time offensively.
His ball handling has been superb. Absolutely. Ferdinand able to do a little spinorama to keep the defender at bay.
How about one more here for the Wave to end the half?
And there it is! Kramer calls it! Max Ferdinand delivers! 4-0 Milwaukee!
Long-range shot by Ferdinand from outside the yellow line. It took a deflection in front of Van Zela. Let's see who it hit on the replay. Put balls on frame. You watch this right here, the deflection right there. It's actually a handball on the Blast defender. I couldn't tell if that was Healy or who that was, but not a good idea.
Boy, very untimely. Andrew Hoxie, what was I guess
that's a routine save there by Van Zela and Hoxie.
He was trying to maybe throw the hip out and the ball stayed up a bit, but that was very untimely for Hoxie in the Blast.
Huge goal for the Wave.
So Max Ferdinand, former member of the Blast for 6 seasons before coming over to Milwaukee for the past 2. Shot by Santana. Lemos makes the save. Still 30 seconds to go, first period. Max gets his 4th of the postseason. Don't know if there was an assist on that or not. Now the Blast comes up with it midfield. They got a 3-on-2. Lay it off far side. Pittman centering, shot, and a goal. As Peruzzi walks it in, and with 15 seconds to go, a huge, huge goal for the Baltimore Blast.
Well, no one said it was going to be easy against the defending champs. It was a giveaway by Ian Bennett in the middle third of the field that created a numbers advantage for Baltimore, a 3v1. Actually a 3v2, and they made him pay right there.
Donatelli sets it up for Peruzzi. Huge goal by the Blast just before halftime.
Got to take care of the ball in the neutral zone.
Marcio drives one wide. Grable trying to follow it. It deflects off. Wade will get a free kick with 6.3 seconds left to go. Well, a kick in. Good hustle though by Grable to keep the play alive. Stewart with those blue shoes, trademark blue shoes. Drew Ruggles wearing the blue shoes as well. I don't think Drew Ruggles is going to wear any different color shoes after tonight. Marcio centering and got it to Grable. Didn't get all of it, partially blocked by Healy. That'll do it for the first half. A good first half for the Milwaukee Wave, but a big goal by Baltimore in the final minute to get on the board as they go to the locker room at halftime. It's 4-1 Milwaukee. Let's take out some of the highlights. Again, only 2 goals scored in the second period. Drew Ruggles, who already scored 3 in the first, almost had his 4th in the first half, but put it off the frame. And both keepers, Van Zela for Baltimore and Josh Lemos for the Wave, right on top of their games in this second period. And it's been physical out there. There's a nice combination there, but a great save by Van Zela to stop Daniel Matos. And then Matos on the other end, clearing one away. And then Ferdinand with that huge goal just before the end of the half. Let's send it down to Van McNeil.
Time for our Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital Coach's Corner. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Head coach Julian Olivier, you got to be happy with the first half results.
Definitely. You know, we got out, we played with a lot of energy. We had goals to back us up in the first quarter. We went up 3-0. We got the 4th, and, you know, we're still not pleased that we gave up that last goal. We know there's 30 minutes of soccer left.
Now, not to bring up old news, old hat, We've been in the lead before. How do we maintain? You said full 60 minutes of soccer. What are you going to tell the guys here?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the full 60 minutes. We got another 30 minutes. You know, we're at home this time, and we feel very confident. Guys aren't going to take their foot off the gas pedal. We're going to defend relentlessly and push this to a mini game.
It's got to be nice to have the fans here, too, cheering
Absolutely
you on.
fantastic. Keep it going, guys.
Head coach Giuliano Oliviero, our Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital Coach's Corner. We got this, don't we, Wave fans? Right? Game 2 of the Major Arena Soccer League Eastern Conference Finals continues next from UW Milwaukee Panther Arena.
All right, I'm honored to be joined here by Commissioner Josh Schaub. Josh, thanks for coming out tonight. And just want to ask you, this is your first season as commissioner of the MASL. What's it been like in essentially your rookie year?
Sure. The business side, there has been many surprises. I think I anticipate a lot of the issues coming in, and we've really resolved a lot of them. So long way to go on the business side. Excited to see the big upturn in attendance towards the end of the season and into the playoffs here. That's been really exciting. I think for me, the big learning curve has been the culture of arena soccer, the discipline issues that a commissioner has on their plate, seemingly on a weekly basis. So I learned a lot on that front, and I'll be transitioning and carrying that into next season as well.
Now, we've seen a lot of positives coming from the league this year. Many of the teams have attendance growth that has been much higher than they've seen year to year. We've had some great great series so far in the playoffs, and some great rivalries reborn. Talk about what you see as far as the growth of the league and individually with some of the teams.
Sure, and it all goes back to philosophy of the brand, outcome of the games being in doubt, which I think we've clearly seen not only in the playoffs or the regular season. We had some great games where every team's fans thought that they had the ability to win that night, and then making sure there's an equal application for enforcement of the rules across the board on and off the field. So it starts there. What we see in these playoffs in particular is really tough matchups and a contrast in styles across the league too, which I think is really appealing for fans.
Yeah, I know when I first joined the league, I was hooked from game one, and then somebody said, whoa, you know, you think this was great, wait till you see playoff soccer. What has the first Ron Newman Cup playoff season been like for you?
The intensity gets turned up so many notches when it comes to playoffs, both from ownership groups, from players, from the fans in general. Just being last week in San Diego and hearing Landon Donovan talk about his experience in San Diego really opened my eyes, because he was talking about the difference between outdoor and arena and really the intensity that gets picked up in playoffs here. It was eye-opening for me to hear someone that's been so involved with the game of soccer for so long say that. Really had an impact on me, and I think it's the truth across the board.
Now, one of the great things that you've done with this league is you've provided a lot of stability for the teams, for the league in general, and we've seen steady growth with MASL TV, with several other items across the league. What kinds of things are we working on throughout the offseason and things that fans can expect in next year?
Sure, and I think we're doing something right now. I hope the fans will see a lot more next year of more pregame digital content surrounding our players, our characters, our coaches, learning more about arena soccer. So we see MASL TV as really the portal into our world, right? This is how they see our platform. So we need to provide them more content, more knowledge, which will then spread the awareness of arena soccer. MASL 2 broadens that approach on a more physical level and a local level. So last weekend we had some great meetings with potential MASL 2 ownership groups. That is looking like we're going to have a start next fall. Feeling very good about that. And what that'll do is create more players, more arena players, which is important, because as we have players transition from outdoor to arena, they have a difficult transition, obviously, and we want to expedite that. Creating more referees, larger referee pool, getting them younger into this game, and coaches as well. And then we breed more fans, obviously, through another platform, really building the pyramid of arena soccer.
Well, and if that builds more teams and more rosters like we have remaining still in this tournament, I think a lot of fans will be really excited to see that develop. So let's talk about this tournament in general. These 4 teams have been some of the top teams throughout the season, and they show why they have been at the top of the league all season long. What do you think? Give your impressions of all 4 teams left.
Well, I'm going to speak in generalities, being the commissioner, so I'm not going to speak on the abilities of each team. But what I think is really cool about this tournament and where we've ended up with these 4 teams is it's truly international. So we have Mexico, we have Baltimore on the far east coast, Milwaukee here in the central, and then San Diego on the west coast. So it's a great representation of our whole country. And once again, going to touch on the contrast in styles between the teams. And you see, the old MISL teams, the PASL team over in San Diego, and they just play different styles of arena soccer. And I think that's what's really cool about this tournament as we see more crossover in games, and really looking forward to a great championship between whichever two teams really come out of this.
All right, now fans are always asking, so we do need to ask about expansion opportunities and teams for next season.
Yeah, and expansion's exciting, right? We always want to talk about where's the next team, but as a commissioner, we have to be careful to only let in teams and markets that are viable. So we're going through the vetting process and the legal process to make sure that if we do have expansion, they're here to stay for a long time. So I ask our fans to just be patient as we jump through all the hoops, and I am a lawyer by trade, so I make sure we dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure everything's good to go. We will have announcements coming up shortly, and we hope to have a big press conference at the championship series.
All right. Commissioner Josh Schaub, thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll be right back on MASL TV.
Way fans, make some noise!
Take a miracle, looking like plays it in, headed down, Marcial across, shot it, goal! Oh my, yeah! This is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, Tom. I don't know if they can go to instant replay, but I don't know if that ball was in before that horn sounded. It was extremely close, man. And the shot, save Warburg, and he punches away. Been off his line way early, but Blue Odd scores anyway.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max, drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Why are you here? Do you have a mission? At Cardinal Stritch University, we'll help you find it. We believe it's our job to help people grow in their mind and heart while preparing them for a career. In fact, our undergraduates earn an average salary of $51,000, which is far more than most colleges and universities in Wisconsin. Find out what Stritch has to offer you. Now's the time to visit our campus for one of our upcoming events. We're here to help. After all, we make it our mission to help you find yours. Visit go.stritch.edu/events today.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
What others see is not a reflection of who I really am.
Pain from everyday wear and tear? That's not gonna stop me.
That younger me, she's still in there.
With uncompromising orthopedic expertise, we make sure the state of your body matches your state of mind.
Professional Construction Incorporated is a full-service construction company serving residential and commercial clients in the southeastern Wisconsin area. You can depend on Professional Construction Incorporated for new home construction, home remodeling including kitchen and bathrooms, and home additions like garages, basements, window and door installation, and more. From start to finish, Professional Construction Incorporated can assist you and customize any project. Call 262-363-0886 or visit WIPCI.com.
Some of the fans on hand here at the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena watching the Milwaukee Wave battle the Baltimore Blast in Game 2 of the MASL Eastern Conference Finals. Let's take a look at how we got to the score, which is 4-1 Milwaukee. Drew Ruggles started off in the first period off a nice assist from Robert Renault. And then Ruggles again off the restart pass from Max Ferdinand. 2-0. Still in the first period. Ruggles would do it again after Ian Bennett heads one in. Little glance off Ferdinand. And Ruggles with the natural hat trick, all in a span of 1 minute and 54 seconds to put Milwaukee up 3-0. No scoring until the final minute of the first half when Max Ferdinand launches one in. It deflects off Blast defender Andrew Hoxie. 4-0 Milwaukee. But then the Blast getting a big goal back just before the end of halftime as Tony Donatelli sets up Daniel Peruzzi for the goal. So 4-1. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer and Jeff Husted down on the sidelines for tonight's broadcast. Art, what's your outlook here as we start the second half?
If you're Giuliano Oliviero, you're telling the boys, win the third quarter. Forget about the score right now, win the quarter.
Jeff, what's it look like down there?
Well, you know, I walked in and I talked to Danny on his way in, and I said, you know, what are we looking at second half? Any changes? And he said, yeah, we're going to change. We're going to play better. His strategy, his plan is still the same. For him, it was a discipline. They were not playing the strategy that he put out the way he wanted it. So there's not going to be a system change. He just wants his players to perform the way he wants them.
Well, we'll see if the Blast responds to their sure-to-be Hall of Fame coach, Danny Kelly. He's led this team to 5 championships during his 11 years. Oh, what a move there as Pereira was setting it up for the shot, had it poked away. Took a little bit too much time. Just before that, we saw Daniel Matos with a volley attempt off a long feed downfield from Max Ferdinand. And once again, the opening minute of the half taking shape in very high tempo fashion.
Well, in typical coach speak fashion as well, Danny Kelly not giving Jeff Husted very much, huh? We just got to play better. Okay.
Lemos in front, able to cover it up.
Thanks for all the detail there, Coach.
Well, he still gives you more than Greg Popovich, that's for sure. And I don't believe Danny Kelly has ever rested any players who were fully healthy and available for selection because they just felt like resting.
I don't think Jeff was feeling like Craig Sager down there with Pops, huh? Pops used to just ride the late Craig Sager.
Milwaukee
all in good fun, though.
Well, in theory. Wave in the black uniforms, they go left to right. Andre Hain back it up for Guillermo Vega. Vega getting the call tonight as one of the defenders with Chad Vandergriff on the shelf due to an injury. Chad, the Wave's leading shot blocker during the regular season, also came up with some key goals, timely goals for Milwaukee. Now, Eder Nelson trying to keep that one alive. He's pumped from behind. Foul is called as ball caromed out in the corner kind of unusually, and Vanzela was out of position, and Nelson ready to pounce on it, got clipped down from behind. There's Pat Healy right there, the veteran defender for the Blast, and that was probably a good foul by Healy without drawing a penalty because Nelson had a great chance to score. Okay, Ruggles on the ball. Drives it through, and somehow Vanzela saw it. Grandpa keeps it alive. Boy, I don't know how Vanzela saw that ball. It looked like he was totally screened out.
He just had his hands positioned in the right place. All they had to do was stick up that right hand to make the save. But we talked about it, a little more direct approach on the restarts by the Wave, and you saw it right there with Ruggles.
Speaking of Ruggles, he's down the corner as Donatelli and Healy double team. Healy comes away with it. Ruggles draws the foul.
Tom, I got to ask Jeff. Jeff, if the Wave gets the next goal, do you have the sense that Baltimore can get back into this one down 4?
You know, it's tough to say. Right now, they're starting to show their first signs, as you see right here. Vanzela getting pressured. their first signs of desperation. Shots maybe they wouldn't normally take, passes that are just a little bit off the mark. I think for Baltimore, it's extremely important that they start getting some possession and getting some quality shots on goal.
Well, they haven't had a lot of either so far in tonight's match, but again, went to the locker room having scored that goal in the last 15 seconds of the first half, and I just gotta believe that gave them some momentum they otherwise would not have had. Especially since the Wave had just scored 30 seconds before that. Dantas in midfield, doubled up as Renault takes it away. Here's Robert Renault, nice move to get around one man. Now trying to come 3-2 with Max and Ian. Renault lays it off, Ian coming in, drives it across, but could not make the connection with Max.
Not a chance you're going to see a 50-plus goal scorer miss very often. Ian made a living on those this season.
Ruggles trying to run at the keeper as Nelson Santana gets it for Baltimore. Santana and Healy, a couple of guys with a lot of experience in the defensive backfield right now. Santana drives it in. And out of bounds as Milwaukee will take it. Milwaukee needs a victory in this game, the regulation game, if you will, to even the series at one game apiece and then force a Game 3 minigame, which will take place immediately following this one. Matos has it knocked away. Lemos able to get it back. Last thought there might have been a foul after the steal. Almost 5 minutes into the third quarter. Score remains 4-1. One thing about the Blast, they have the confidence to be tremendously patient. So as Jeff Husted alluded to, you're not going to see this team just all of a sudden start scrambling chaotically. And again, unless we're talking about a mini-game situation where there might be only a couple minutes to go and they're down by several goals.
Well, you take on the characteristics of your head coach, and that's Danny Kelly right there in a nutshell, huh? Never gets too excited, loses his composure. He's a calm guy, and that's the way his team plays.
Kelly was an outstanding player for many years, and then moved right into the coaching ranks when he finished up as a player. He hasn't missed a beat. He's been a tremendous coach in Baltimore.
And while he's calm and cool, he's a tremendous competitor as well, though. I don't think a lot of people understand the attention to detail that Danny Kelly puts into his work. He's got the huge notebook full of indoor soccer detail.
Matos looking for Bennett, trying to beat the defender, and boy, good defensive play there by Donatelli to reach around Ian and play it away from him. Now Peruzzi, who's got the Baltimore goal, trying to streak upfield. Lemos chips it away. Donatelli will make the reception. Dantas flopping down, and he drew the call. No penalties issued thus far by Ryan Sigich and Brian Martin.
Taking a look at Ian Bennett down on the Wave bench, Tom. He's seated on the bench. Not sure he's 100% healthy right now.
As you mentioned, Art, he was shaken up a bit earlier this week in practice. Oh, good cut back there in the drive by Peruzzi off the mark. Grable trying to work his way up, or rather Hain, nice move there. Andre still coming. Plays it off the board, but Vanzela able to gather it in. Andre's had a couple of good moves up the field, coast-to-coast style tonight. Rayleigh able to get around Hain, but picked off by Ricardinho midfield. Now Ruggles will launch a drive just wide. Drew trying to see if he could get goal number 4 on the evening. Pereira didn't have a lot of offense during the regular season for Baltimore, but I'll tell you, he's picked it up here in the postseason. Ruggles chips it to Renault,
who fell into over the top of the Baltimore bench there.
Great job by Robert to keep it in play. And as you said, Art, launched back into the Baltimore bench, but appears to be okay. Jonatas Mello, the hero for Baltimore, with the overtime game winner in game 1 in that 8-7 victory. Now out high to Pereira, working against Ruggles. Wave has done a great job to keep its defensive shape here in this game so far.
You kind of get the sense that Baltimore is starting to gain a little momentum here. You heard Giuliano Oliviero at the half say, it's important we keep our foot on the gas pedal going forward if we want to win this game.
Giuliano in his 3rd year as head coach of the Wave, taking over from the legendary Keith Tozer. Again, Giuliano just doing a masterful job of putting this team together here this year. Take a look one more time at Robert Renaud, trying to keep that one in play, and oof. But he appeared to be okay as he got out of there. And he steps up to block the shot from Dos Santos. Trickles out of bounds. And that'll bring us to the media timeout. Let's send it down to Jeff Fusted. Jeff, what do you got?
You know, before we get started, keeper for Baltimore missed the great save on Renaud as he fell in. He turned his back. But what we need to talk about tonight, or right now, is that Baltimore, you can start to see it. They're starting to gain that confidence, the possession, the moving the ball around, getting back on defense. Even as Ian Bennett had a breakaway a minute ago, they were calm, cool, slowed him down, and then we got 5 guys behind the ball. It's starting to pick back up for Baltimore. And like Danny said, they have their idea. They just need to work on it and to do it efficiently. For Milwaukee, like you said earlier, they need to just keep their foot on the gas and try to get back the momentum that they had all through the first half.
You know, you talk about momentum in indoor soccer, Tom and Jeff, and really it goes as far as putting the ball in the back of the net. You know, you want momentum, score. And that's how you get momentum. And I think it's imperative for the Blast that they score the next goal, because all this work to not get within 2 and to go down 4, I think that hill's going to be a little too steep to climb. So the next goal right now in my mind is just enormous.
Well, the next goal really just, it goes whether we start planning for game 3 or whether Baltimore pushes to finish this in 2.
And it's definitely an advantage for the team with the lead in the series, because you've got that option, I guess, to sort of weigh. In Milwaukee's case, you don't have any option. You have to win this game in order to force game 3. Now, certainly for the Wave, if you could increase the lead by a couple of goals, that would maybe relieve some of the physical stress down the end. But you know, you're just in too precarious of a situation to try to play for game 3 when you need to win game 2.
Now it's a unique situation, this format. It's no question about it.
No other sport, no other league with a situation like we have in the MASL. It is very unique, Art, as you said.
Remember, I made the point last game against Kansas City, Tom. The Wave was on the power play late in that game, and I said, hey, surprised the Wave isn't making Kansas City work, given the fact that there's going to be a mini game. And Jules, during the week on the phone when I talked to him, said that was a good point. I didn't think of it, but to have to do it again, I would have done just that.
Now here comes Eder Nelson streaking upfield. Eder coming in. Kick save Vanzela.
And a beauty there by William as Nelson streaking through the middle of the field.
Marcio pinned up against the board. Foul is called. Well, you saw Eder Nelson turn on the Jets.
And I like what Ian Bennett, number 26, was doing. He was clapping his hands for Eder, saying, that's a great run, son. Keep that going.
That was an Ian Bennett-like burst up the field. All right, Marcio trying to see if he could probe the defense. Still coming to his right, still coming. Launches a shot in that's blocked. Gets it back. Bennett, shot deflects, and Vanzela comes down with it.
2 good blocks that time by number 78, Nelson Santana, in front of Vanzela.
Nice effort there by Grable to head it away defensively. And then Healy steps up, has that one go off the side of his foot across the field.
couple Blast fans down there in the second row.
Always welcome in Milwaukee, especially if they're spending a lot of money on
That's what I
food
was
and
going to
beverage.
say, spend your money. There's a nice casino right there down there they can go to, Potawatomi.
Well, I'll tell you, we were always treated well, Art, on our trips to Baltimore. Fans there, very hospitable, as well as Blast management. That was always one of my favorite trips back in the day. We used to go there.
Cheesecake Factory at the Inner Harbor.
Oh,
many a night there
tremendous.
with Coach Tozer and Moose.
Absolutely.
Ryan Moose Cook, who's in attendance tonight.
Yeah, good to see the Moose out here
Larry,
tonight. Yeah.
You, me.
It's like we almost got the whole band back. If Coach Tozer were here, we'd be ready for the reunion tour. All right, here's Max. Out high against Dos Santos. Former teammates in Baltimore. Max was there for 6 years. He and Pat Healy, of course, longtime teammates.
Those were some
in
good
Baltimore.
nights there at the Inner Harbor. Sitting around talking and wondering how much trouble Housey was going to get in that night. Craig Howes, the former most valuable player, number 9 for the Milwaukee Wave. Always made the trips entertaining, didn't he?
Absolutely. Here's Santana. Lays it up. Drive by Peruzzi. Save made. Oh, man, what a save there by Lemos. Andre Hain trying to come out of there. And eventually got cut off. There's Mello at midfield, and he'll back it up.
If you were given 3 stars in this game right now, Van Zela and the 2 goalkeepers would be definitely in the top 3. Lemos and Van Zela, certainly.
No question.
That stop by Lemos right there is best of the game. As Peruzzi laid the wood to that one. Was it Peruzzi?
Yes. Let's take a look one more time. Peruzzi gets all of this one from Santana. And a great save there by Lemos.
Uh-oh.
And unfortunately, that's going to be a 3-line violation there. So Baltimore will come back with the free kick midway on its attacking line to the left.
One of the first mistakes in distribution that time by Lemos, and Pat Healy, credit Pat Healy with a good job to obstruct Renault that time and keep him from getting ahead on the ball.
Healy on a back heel. Donatelli with a shot. That's blocked. Good step up there. Goes Marcio, might have got there for the block. Dantas trying to fend off Ruggles in tight, and eventually Donatelli got a piece of it. Lemos gets it. Rolls it out Marcio. Marcio trying to streak upfield, but Rayleigh with a good recovery. Able to run him off the play, and now Donatelli leaking back. Wave trying to catch up to him, and they do. Chamale takes it away, and now Milwaukee 4-on-3 as they push up, 4-on-2. Chamale coming in, he'll take it all the way in, shot and goal! Beautiful patience by Chamale, and he finishes it off. Wave leads it 5-1.
The Wave almost got caught at the other end with both defenders square around the midfield, but Van Zela under hit the long ball. Chamale picked it off, went all the way down the middle of the field. A couple nice fakes using his support players as decoys, and then beat Van Zela low to the left-hand side. Watch once again. And there it was through the 5-hole of the Wave, or of the Baltimore defender as well.
Boy, Daniel Chamale, we talked about Ruggles and his offensive outburst here in the postseason. How about Daniel Chamale, the rookie from Canada? 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points in all 20 regular season games played. He's got 2 and 4 here in the postseason. That was his second goal of the postseason unassisted at 11:20, 5-1 Milwaukee. That was a huge goal for the Wave.
And all that work Jeff Husted talked about for the Blast, all for naught because they can't score to capitalize on the momentum they had produced.
Well, kind of a delayed whistle there as Bennett and Ferdinand were coming upfield on a 2-on-1, but foul behind the play, they got Marcio. So the Blast will put it in.
And Jeff, who is a lot closer to the action than we are, Jeff, tell us if you sense any frustration on the part of the Blast as this one continues on.
You start to see it a little bit more chippiness, a little bit more wondering why guys aren't in position where they expect them to be. And on that play where Chamale scored, when was the last time you saw the Baltimore Blast not get all 5 guys back and have defenders trailing the play? It was very un-Baltimore-like play.
Oh, what a conversion there as Vinicio Dantas puts it away. Oh, I'll tell you, that's a big-time shot off the restart there. And Baltimore gets back within 3 at 5-2.
They're not going anywhere. They aren't. And Dantas that time with just a missile into the upper left-hand corner off the restart. Good weighted pass by Pat Healy. And Dantas, watch this finish right here. Whack! Perfectly placed over the head of Tenzin Rampa.
Postage stamp there.
Yes, it was.
Nobody going to turn that one away as Dantas.
You know, that happened so fast, we missed who the assist was.
That was Healy that played that ball to Dantas.
4th goal of the postseason for Vinny Dantas. He's Baltimore's leading postseason scorer with 10 points. In fact, he was tied with Bennett and Gustavo Rosales for the MASL postseason scoring lead, each with 9 points coming into tonight's match. On the restart, Matos gets the pass from Ferdinand. Max gets it back with some good work there against Hoxie.
Surprised Matos didn't hit that first time.
Had the strong foot wheeling in, but see if the Wave can still do something. Here's Bennett. Ian centering on the play. Cleared away by Healy. 5-2. Milwaukee leading. Nice hustle back by Ian Bennett.
That's what you like to see. Your MVP not really contributing much on the offensive end, but doing it defensively as well.
Shot on the goal! Robert Renaud! And the Wave gets the momentum back on the conversion by Renaud. They lead it 6-2. And all set up by a good hustle play defensively by Ian Bennett.
You got to start to wonder if William Vanzela might not be wearing down a little bit in the Baltimore goal, because that's a shot he normally stops. And you see him right there on his knees, not moving very quickly on that shot by Renaud.
You know, from my vantage point, fellas, I was right behind Renaud, and there's no way that Vanzela saw that until it was almost past him. He was definitely blocked by his defender on that shot.
And that's the advantage there, certainly, Jeff, where the on-field view, you get a much better feel of what's happening. Let me ask you, though, Jeff, you've certainly seen the Blast a number of times the years against the Comets and elsewhere. Have you ever seen Baltimore give up as high a volume of shots as these last couple of games?
No, like I said just a minute ago, it's a very un-Baltimore-like play right now. You see, normally you're used to seeing Baltimore get 5 guys back on defense every time, and there's no such thing as an odd man rush against them. But twice tonight we've seen Milwaukee nearly get scores by having 4v2 or 4v3.
Yeah, good point. Although I will say that Milwaukee's team speed is probably right at the top of the league right now. And so that really has been one of the major changes to the team this year as opposed to years past. Not that they were particularly slow over the last couple of years, but definitely enhanced speed this year. And so, Wave advantage back up to 4 as we come down to the final minute of play of the 3rd period. But Art, if you've got team speed, you can really put a lot of pressure on opposing defenses. And if you've got a guy like Vinny Dantas, you can do so as well. Although that was Dos Santos who scored. And Baltimore back within 3 at 6-3. So they're still hanging in there.
Well, actually, it was Dantas, Tom, I believe, that scored that goal. It was Dos Santos who set it up.
Set it up, okay.
And there's Vinny Dantas right there, the big fella.
2nd goal of the night. 5 for the postseason, 11 postseason points to lead the MASL. Prior to that, Robert Renaud had pumped in his 3rd goal of the postseason. Robert with 17 during the regular campaign, had an outstanding rookie year. In fact, he and Lemos both strong contenders for Rookie of the Year. Now, Andre Hayden coming in. And he whistles one just wide. Last 30 seconds of the period. So Milwaukee, which had a 4-1 lead at halftime, still maintaining the 3-goal advantage for now. Hoxie trying to push upfield, but Nelson was there to knock it away. Final 10 seconds of the period. Grable knocking long, finds Bennett. Ian, shot is off the mark. Ruggles follow, just wide. Oh, that would have been a conversion. As it stands, Wave still on top by 3 as we go to the 4th quarter. Stay with us, fans. This is the Major Arena Soccer League.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
6-3 as we head to the 4th quarter of Game 2 of the MASL Eastern Conference semifinals. As you take a look at some of the highlights from the 3rd period. Robert Renaud flying into the Blast bench to try to keep that one in play, which he actually did. Here's Eder Nelson on a breakaway and a great kick save and a beauty by Vanzela. Lemos was up to the task though as he stopped Daniel Peruzzi on that one. Again, Milwaukee carried a 4-1 lead into the 3rd quarter. It is now 6-3. Goals for Milwaukee scored by Chamali, his 2nd of the postseason, unassisted at 11-20 in the 3rd. And then Robert Renaud, his 3rd of the postseason from Daniel Matos, who got his 5th assist at 12:51. Vinny Datas with a pair for Baltimore, his 4th and 5th of the postseason at 11:54 and 14:12. Healy and Dos Santos picking up the assists respectively. Let's go down to Jeff Houston. So Jeff, we come to the 4th quarter. Does it look like we could be headed for a minigame?
Oh, you know what? This is championship arena soccer. You can never count anybody out. It looked for a minute there like we were just ready and set to go to that minigame. And in Baltimore, you can never count them out. It'll be interesting to see how they start out this 4th quarter. And that'll determine, the first 5 minutes determines whether we're going 3rd game or Baltimore moves on.
Okay, Tom Wynn up in the booth with our Wave Hall of Famer, Art Kramer. Art, you agree with that assessment?
My sentiments exactly. Twice it looked like the Wave had the Blast down and out, but the Blast pulled themselves up off the carpet and got right back into it.
Boy, almost a untimely giveaway there by Milwaukee.
if you're the Wave, long stretches of possession are what's in order right now. Make the Blast chase. Every time you get possession, there needs to be 7, 8, 9 consecutive passes. Clock is your friend right now.
Dantas in a back heel exchange. Dos Santos trying to come through. It comes out to Dantas. Don't look now. The Blast is back within 2 as Dantas has the hat trick, 6-4. And guys, I'm telling you, we are seeing the emergence of one of the guys going to be one of the big stars in this league, Vinny Dantas.
Who does it remind you of, Tom? Anybody? Guy I just got a text from about 5 minutes ago. Greg Howes. Big, strong, can strike the ball with both feet. Housey probably listening or watching up in the Portland, Seattle area.
So Dantas matches Milwaukee's Drew Ruggles, each with a hat trick tonight. Well, if you give him some chances, he will finish. I mean, he is seemingly unstoppable in this series as far as the Wave defenders are concerned. Talking about Dantas. Third-year player in this league, and he has definitely moved his game up to a next level. Leite with a shot that almost found its way through to the far post. Vanzela never saw that one. I don't know if somebody may have deflected it. Renault was running through, but that just missed by centimeters.
You know, Tom, I'm telling you, Milwaukee is doing an excellent job right now of getting inside the shooting lanes and forcing the defender to block Vanzela's view. That's about the third shot I've seen tonight where Vanzela has no clue it's coming until it's there.
Blast with it in the white uniforms going left to right. Vega, good job to win the battle at midfield as he got it from Pereira. Nicely done by Guilherme Vega.
And to Jeff's point, Tom, remember, Giuliano Oliviero, born and raised in Vancouver, big hockey fan, right? So get traffic in front of the goaltender. This sported goalkeeper, but same type of concept. Throw pucks at the net, get traffic in front. The Wave doing a good job of it here, as Jeff pointed out.
Good philosophy either way. Eder Nelson trying to see if he can get past Donatelli. Coming to the corner. Eder centering on the play. It's directed away. Rayleigh has it. Hain is there. Ruggles steps in. Ruggles wins it. And now Hain trying to see if he can get it back.
And I said born and raised in Vancouver, Tom. Correct me there if I'm wrong.
In the Vancouver area, yeah.
Okay.
New Westminster, British Columbia, I believe, for Jules. And again, Jules done a tremendous job this year. No question deserves serious consideration for MASL Coach of the Year. The way he has helped this team turn around, especially the second half of the year. And as you pointed out, Art, not just Jules as a coaching perspective, but Marcello Fontana and Nick Thorberg, his assistants, also doing a great job to help mold this team. Well, the Blast with the last 2 goals in this contest, both courtesy of Vinny Dantas, who has the hat trick. He scored at 14-12 of the third period from Dos Santos to make it 6-3, and then he scored 54 seconds into this period from Dos Santos.
The Blast showing you why they're the defending MASL champions. And while they have a number of new players, they still got a nice core of guys. Pat Healy, Tony Donatelli, Vinny Dantas, Hoxie.
Bennett trying to send one across for a sliding Renault. Almost made the connection.
Dos Santos. Good core of guys that can help lead these younger guys, these new players. And then, of course, Danny Kelly and David Bascombe.
Vanzela trying to play at the midfield, but it one hops into the booth right next to where Jeff Husted is hanging out down there, along with the public address announcer Van McNeil. Right in the middle of the action down there. Now Hain turning, shot on goal! Good look from Leite. And Andre with a quick turn. Vanzela got a piece, but not enough. And a big goal for Milwaukee. They lead it 7-4.
Credit Marcio Leite with a nice aggressive approach that time on the attack as he went at the Baltimore defender and made a good early pass to Hain, who made a nice first touch and then beat Vanzela down low. And that's the goal the Wave needed, desperately needed right there. Vanzela, we've seen come out and cut down the angle a number of times tonight. Done a good job with that, but this time not able to keep that shot by Hain out of the back of the net.
Andre with his second of the playoffs. Got 4 points overall. Marcio picks up the assist, his second helper of the postseason, and 5th point overall.
Got to ask Jeff. Jeff, if you're playing basketball and Big Andre's running like that down the middle of the court, you're going to take a charge?
If Big Andre's running at me like that, I'm not moving. I'm moving no matter what I'm playing. Hey, before we go too far, right after Dante's goal, Marcio Leite grabbed his teammates, calmed them down, told them, I imagine he told them, we still got this, but he was talking to them, motioning, calm down, go at him, go aggressive. And that's what he just did right there on that pass there to Hain. It was a right down the middle, and it was a great shot.
Veteran leadership, and nothing better than leading by example. Bennett able to spin away from Healy. Works the 1-2. Oh, shot off the frame. Unlucky for Ian. Beautiful work by the Wave that time.
Well, potentially a good sign for the Wave as they've got a 3-goal lead. Doing it without Ian Bennett, having tallied one of those 7.
Boy, Healy breaking up the play, and then as he and Lemos both vying for the ball, a collision, and both took a knock there. Second time Josh has been stomped on the ankle tonight.
Josh taking the shin guard off and showing the referee the mark.
And again, nothing malicious by Healy, just good hard play as he was going after the ball. That was almost a bad giveaway by Milwaukee that could have resulted in a goal for Baltimore. Let's check it out one more time.
Let's check out the replay and see what happened here. See if we can catch it. Slow it down.
As you see, they look, they bang lower legs after Lemos played the ball. So as they continue to tend to Josh Lemos, and again, you can't underscore how important it is for Milwaukee to keep this guy in the game. And Rafa Diaz is a very capable backup keeper for Milwaukee, but Josh is, especially with the amount that he's played, is at another level right now.
Psychologically, the impact that would have is every player, every fan understand how important Josh Lemos is to the Milwaukee Wave's success.
Well, they put a little duct tape on it, and he's ready to go.
Throw a little black turf on it. Good to go, huh?
Still have more than 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of game 2. Ian Bennett, top of the area, tries to roll in the left footer, and again, nice save by Vanzela. Nelson keeps it alive, but couldn't get much on that follow-up. Vega comes out to clear it away. It deflected off Dantas. I thought it went off Dantas.
Vega right there in front of section 225, getting the crowd fired up.
Yeah, that's Milwaukee possession there. Yeah, Guilherme showing a little bit of emotion. What do you think, Jeff? Is Vega fired up down there?
Yeah, he's said a few things, and I understood some of them. I couldn't repeat any of them. But yeah, he's getting into the game for sure.
Are those in Spanish or English, by the way, Jeff?
Good combination of both.
Here's Renault. Drives it across. Ian Bennett with the header and just a bit high. Pass just a bit high as Ian tried to stretch out and head that in. That would have been a spectacular combination.
And that's twice we've seen Renault on that left wing. We saw it early in the game where he missed Nelson, and that time just a little bit high for Ian Bennett. And Ian walking towards Jeff Husted right now, putting his head up in the air saying, what do I got to do?
Josh Lemos again. Excellent ball handling throughout the game, especially when he's been away from the goal. All right, here's Mello's got some room at midfield, but lost of touches. Grable steps in to take it. Stuart Grable, the second-year man from Neenah, Wisconsin, and UWGB. And Stuart's been kind of an unsung player for the Wave. Art, not in the spotlight a lot, but I'll tell you, he does a lot of dirty work out there. And he's been another excellent addition.
See the call by Brian, is it Brian Miller? Tom, how about the job Brian Miller and Ryan Sigich have done in this game too? Absolutely spectacular refereeing so far.
Again, the intensity ramped up in this playoff matchup. It's hard enough to work this game during the regular season and then multiply that by about five-fold intensity-wise for the playoffs.
You want to learn how to referee a playoff game, a decisive playoff game, and not become part of the story? Take this tape and watch it if you're an up-and-coming referee. This has been very, very good.
All right, here's Max in the middle. Trying to work his way upfield. And will reload. Good play there. Wave not afraid to use the clock here with the 3-goal lead and less than 7 minutes to go. Ricardinho laying it off, but eventually lost it as Healy stuck a foot in for Baltimore. Back to Van Zela. Well, we'll see as the time goes on here. Perhaps Blast might think about utilizing the 6th attacker to, they're still down by a few goals.
4.5, maybe 4 minutes, I would assume.
Yeah, probably in that range. Donatelli, the veteran from Temple University. Tony was actually their leading scorer during the regular season as he scored 42 points, finished 11th in the league scoring race. Sonora's Frank Tayo with the Golden Boot this year, 72 points. Ian Bennett second, 64. Ian coming in, but Van Zela holding the fort there. 5.5 to go. Travis Pittman with Tenzin Rampa closely marking him.
And just as you said, Tom, here's the 6th attacker right now, 5:20 to go.
Pat Healy donning the jersey, so Healy is now your extra attacker.
I like what Baltimore's doing here is they're able to make that 6th attacker change on the fly. Not have to go all the way back to their own penalty box to call timeout, which enables the opponent to pressure them the full length of the field. That's what Baltimore did the other night against the Wave when they took a timeout.
Bouncing shot in, Lemos has got it. Little 2 hands over the head. Out to Bennett. Ian will fire one in, that's wide.
Yeah, I always like to pressure the opponent up high and make them work through the 3 phases. The first phase, get it out of your own zone. The second phase, get it deep into the attacking zone. The third phase is score. My feeling was, why just concede the first 2 phases? Make them work it through those 2 phases.
That was Mello that teed one up. Wave able to clear it out. So Healy is the 6th attacker with Mello, Donatelli, Dantas, Hoxie, and Dos Santos. Take away Wave. Ferdinand cut off at midfield, but he gets it back. Tried to slip it through for Marcio, but deflects to Bennett. Now 2-on-1 with Marcio. Ian gets it over to Marcio, shot in the goal. Boy, good patience there by Bennett to wait till Marcio could get clear. And a nice dish there, nice finish by Marcio. Wave leads it 8-4.
And as Wayne Larrivee likes to say on the Green Bay Packer broadcast, Tom, there's your dagger in this one as the Wave opens up a 4-goal lead. Leite from Bennett on the 6th attacker. And with just 3:49 to go, this one all but over.
Leite with his 4th goal of the postseason. Also had an assist on the previous goal by Andre Hayne. Bennett with the assist, Ian's 2nd of the postseason, his 10th playoff point. So, Milwaukee looking in pretty good shape to win this one. And let's send it back down to Jeff Husted. Jeff, I gotta believe we are right on the verge of minigame mode right now.
Well, definitely. Saving it for minigame mode. We're under 4 minutes to play. It's a 4-goal deficit. You're not really going to push all your energy into this one and not have anything left for a minigame when there's not of getting 5 goals in the next 4 minutes. So for Baltimore, look to see Pat Healy probably stay in his 6th attacker, but they probably won't push as much towards the offense and maybe just look for an opportune goal, try to get some momentum into the minigame.
And again, if you're the Blast, as well as the Wave, don't want to make any unnecessary runs. You've only got 15 minutes between games to get ready for the minigame, so you really want to be calculated, I guess, in your play here the last few minutes.
Well, especially for Baltimore, because they've played so many games in the last 11 days, with the compression of the Eastern Division series, they really have to worry about or be concerned about their fitness.
And I'm going to speak as a former player here, Tom. 8-4, there's still 3:40 left. If you're the Wave, you want to go for blood right now. You want to bury this team and try to psychologically deal a blow headed into the minigame, because players get frustrated. I mean, you know, emotions are what they are. Some players control them better than others. What you want to do is try to stoke the emotions a little bit, test the emotions of the Blast players if you can right now.
There's Healy, the 6th attacker. Yeah, it's true. You really don't have a long cooling off period between games, that's for sure.
Now you want that other team to go in the locker room and talking about things that they should have done and have some frustration come out.
Here's Renault. Gonna push it up. Bennett in the race with Healy. And Ian has that one skipped by. Renault still following up, but Healy will gather that in. Healy came on with about 5 minutes to go as the 6th attacker. Now, Danny Kelly calling a timeout. And let's see what he's going to do.
If we could keep it on the Blast bench, we can see some of that frustration that we're just talking about. You can see Pat Healy taking the jersey off, so they are going to more or less concede this one right now.
Jeff Husted, you sensing a bit of frustration on the part of the Blast?
I think so. You're looking at some down heads, but then you've got guys like Pat Healy and Vanzella over there trying to talk him up. Let's just finish this one out. Then there's a whole nother game starting all the way at 0-0. So the leaders of this team are just trying to get through the end of this game, get the 2 minutes, 58 seconds done with, so they can move on and start fresh.
But what a move by Danny Kelly, though, to concede this right here and now, because my point was, if you're the Wave, you want to try to deal a psychological blow. And Danny, sensing that, says, okay, I'm going to put a stop to that one right here and now. And I think it's a smart move by Danny Kelly, David Bass out to say enough's enough. Let's save our energy here for the minigame.
We will have 15 minutes between games before the start of the Game 3 minigame. That is, assuming the Wave can hang on to this 4-goal lead in the last 2.5 minutes.
And not only don't you give up a bunch of goals here, you may be able to get one back yourself.
Wave led it 3-0 at the end of one. All 3 goals by defender Drew Ruggles. 4-1 at halftime, 6-3 at the end of 3. And now 8-4. Here's Eder Nelson. Trying to streak upfield, but the Blast get it back. Wave and the Blast have played one previous minigame in their postseason history. That was in the 2006 playoffs. Baltimore was able to win it in overtime. Actually played almost 30 full minutes. Michelle Millwood scoring the goal in a 1-0 game.
And that was a game, Tom, where we had no less than 8 or 9 just unbelievable chances to win that game. It started off right off the bat. Matt Schmidt came, and Sagu made an unbelievable save on Schmitty in the first seconds of that mini game.
And after that, it was Sagu and Danny Green going toe-to-toe.
But chance after chance went by the board in that one before Millwood eventually scored the winner.
And Millwood would go on to score the overtime game winner in St. Louis the next week to defeat the Ambush, and a well-deserved playoff MVP that year. So, Wave will see if they can just work off the final minute of the clock. Baltimore not going to expend too much energy here to...
There's your player of the game right there on the ball, True Ruggles.
So again, going into the minigame, at the conclusion of this, we'll have a 15-minute break and then kick it off for game 3. It'll be a 15-minute regular game, if you will, if it's still tied after 15 minutes, which is the equivalent of 1/4 of a regulation game. Then we'll go to golden goal overtime. Fans here at the UW-Milwaukee Panther Arena getting on their feet to salute the Wave for a good effort here to force the minigame. And of course, they are hoping again the Wave can pull it off just like they did against Kansas City last week. A victory in game 2, and then a minigame win, which would put them into the MASL finals against either San Diego or Sonora.
And Jeff, you got time to tell Van, who's waving that towel right next to you, to get a fresh towel, man, for the next game.
I tell you, it's been an honor to be on this broadcast with you guys tonight. But this has been the scariest part of the night. I keep feeling like he's either going to jump out at me or he's going to fall. But it's been great being next to him, and I'm just glad we get to do it for 15 more minutes.
We saw the shot of Mike Zimmerman, among others, in the fan zone celebrating the victory here. Mike Zimmerman, of course, the president, CEO of MKE Sports Entertainment at the Milwaukee Wave.
Ed Hale won, Mike Zimmerman won as we go to the rubber match.
Let's send it down to Van McNeil.
It feels good, doesn't it, Wave fans? How about your Milwaukee Wave? All right, here is the deal. Pay attention, everybody. Here's what's going to happen now. With Baltimore winning game 1, your Milwaukee Wave winning game 2, this series tied at 1, that forces the 15-minute minigame, which is happening in 15 minutes. That happens next. Now, in the event that the 15-minute minigame 3 ends in a tie, we'll go into a 10-minute golden goal overtime. The first team to score will win, but we'll have a full 15-minute minigame 3 in the event of a tie, that 10-minute golden goal overtime. Question for you, Wave fans. Will it be the Baltimore Blast? Will it be your Milwaukee Wave? Stick around, Wave fans. Game 3 of the Major Arena Soccer League Eastern Conference Finals is next here at UW Milwaukee Panther Arena.
So again, some of the highlights from the fourth period, which began with the Wave leading 6-3. That goal by Andre Hain occurred after Baltimore had drawn within 2 to make it 6-4. But big goal there. Van Zela getting a piece, but he couldn't quite stop it. Nice assist from Leite. And that was probably the one that made us think minigame was inevitable. Andre's goal at 4:31 of the fourth period. Ian Bennett came close to scoring again on a great cross from Robert Renault. But Ian would not score any goals, amazingly enough, in game 2. He scored a goal in every previous game this year, Art, so I guess credit Baltimore for shutting him down. If you're a Wave fan, you're hoping he's still got at least a couple for this minigame.
Well, that's the great thing, is your leading scorer, the guy who scored in every game, didn't score, but you still won going away. You got to think he's got 1 or 2 in him.
And he did get an assist on that goal there by Marcio Leite. All right, stick around. We're coming back for more.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max, drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Wave fans, make some noise!
Still going to take a miracle. Looking like plays it in. Headed down. Marcio across. Shot a goal!
Oh my,
Yes!
this is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, Tom. I don't know if they can go to instant replay, but I don't know if that ball was in before that horn sounded. It was extremely close.
And the shot save Orberg, and he punches away.
Been off his line way early, but Luan scores anyway.
Why are you here? Do you have a mission? At Cardinal Stritch University, we'll help you find it. We believe it's our job to help people grow in their mind and heart while preparing them for a career. In fact, our undergraduates earn an average salary of $51,000, which is far more than most colleges and universities in Wisconsin. Find out what Stritch has to offer you. Now's the time to visit our campus for one of our upcoming events. We're here to help. After all, we make it our mission to help you find yours. Visit go.stritch.edu/events today.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
What others see is not a reflection of who I really am.
Pain from everyday wear and tear? That's not gonna stop me.
That younger me, she's still in there.
With uncompromising orthopedic expertise, we make sure the state of your body matches your state of mind.
Professional Construction Incorporated is a full-service construction company serving residential and commercial clients in the southeastern Wisconsin area. You can depend on Professional Construction Incorporated for new home construction, home remodeling including kitchen and bathrooms, and home additions like garages, basements, window and door installation, and more. From start to finish, Professional Construction Incorporated can assist you and customize any project. Call 262-363-0886 or visit WIPCI.com.
So we prepare for another mini game. This time the Wave against the Baltimore Blast. Tom went along with Art Kramer. Art, they did it again last week against Kansas City. Can they do it again against Baltimore this week?
Well, you know, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. This team has just got all the qualities. They've got great team speed. They've got good technical ability. And they've showed a poise and composure that is unusual for a team this young and with so many new players. But on the other side, you got the defending champs. And you've got one of the all-time greatest coaches in indoor soccer in Danny Kelly. And so whatever the case may be, whatever the outcome may be, it's certainly not going to be easy. And we know these 15-minute mini games, because we've seen them in the past, they can be a crapshoot, right? They can. It's just to toss a coin, and whoever comes out and can get the first goal, get that momentum early on, really gives himself a good chance to win.
Well, for what it's worth, the Wave has a 3-game mini-game winning streak over the past 3 seasons. Baltimore, of course, had to go to a mini-game in Harrisburg in their previous series and defeat the Harrisburg Heats 4-1 in the mini-game after they had to win Game 2 on the turf at Harrisburg. So they're no strangers to the mini-game experience, if you will. It's been a scintillating series so far, the 2 games between these teams. And now it's just time to lay it all out there and see who's going to win.
Well, neither team has shown any indication they're going to sit back. They're going to come out and pressure aggressively, but neither team has been successful in putting the other team's goalie in a bad spot. We haven't seen any really defensive attack goals. That's where you create a turnover and you put the ball in the back of the net. Most of the goals we've seen have come from some just really nice offensive play, but I like the attacking aggressiveness of the Milwaukee Wave. Marcio Leite on the goal that he set up, Andre Hain. That's the type of aggressive mindset and approach you need in these type of situations.
And so the fans have stuck around. Boisterous crowd here tonight. Again, they've seen some tremendous action and hoping that their hometown Milwaukee Wave can somehow find a way past the defending champion Baltimore Blast.
I like some of the former Wave players that are watching online as well. I got a message from Tariq Walker, the big left-footed number 9 of the Wave, who won a few championships here. Rene Ortiz, another number 9, big left-footed player from San Diego. Greg Howes, another number 9. All the number 9s, former number 9s are watching online. Tariq, Rene, and Housey.
Well, of course, Tariq's experienced it from both sides with the Wave and the Blast.
Right, that's right.
So, in fact, primarily the Blast, with the exception of the 98 season when he won it with the Milwaukee Wave. Let's send it down to Jeff Husted.
Thanks, guys. Talk to both coaches coming out of the locker. The Milwaukee Wave, Giuliano says status quo. We're going to stay the same. We put the pressure on them. We scored some goals, and just keep doing what we're doing. On Baltimore's side, Danny says the strategy is still there, but they need to have ball control. No silly giveaways. Dive for the ball. Go for the ball. Get on top of the ball and control it the whole time. Until then, they're going to be playing catch-up, is what he says.
All right, that's Jeff Husted down on the field. Tom went along with the Hall of Famer Art Kramer up top. Baltimore will kick off. Blast in the white uniforms going left to right. And here we go, the mini game to determine who's going to win the Eastern Conference Championship and advance to the MASL Finals against either San Diego or Sonora. Those teams will get together on Saturday night for Game 2 and possibly the Game 3 mini game in that series. That will be in Hermosillo, and Sonora will be heavily favored to win that series. They already took Game 1 in San Diego. Healy able to nod that one behind him to goalkeeper Van Zela. Schmally knocks it away. Now Marcio to Bennett, trying to run onto it, but good position there by Healy. Knock it away.
First touch, let Ian down that time.
And that time Van Zela coming out toward midfield. We haven't seen him come out too far as opposed to Josh Lemos, who's not afraid to handle the ball up beyond midfield as he has to. Chamali chips it far side. It deflects out of play. Gaten Caltabiano, number 80. And, well, I'm trying to think, Art, did we see him maybe for a brief shift? I'm not sure. He was listed on the roster for game 2, but anyway, you can have a different roster for this minigame. And Caltabiano still has some fresh legs. Grable with a shot, save Vanzela. And eventually cleared away by the blast. Here's Santana trying to move it up. But pressure from Ruggles, and Ricardinho comes back to get it.
First goal is huge in this mini game, Tom.
Ricardinho, he'll fire a shot in. Vanzela had a good look at that one. And no rebound. Vanzela, not a particularly big guy, but pretty good quickness and reflexes. And again, another keeper who just doesn't make mistakes handling the ball, very rarely. All right, Drew Ruggles with it now. Drew with a first quarter hat trick in game 2. He was off and flying. Now, not a good distribution there. A little confusion by Baltimore. Here's Ferdinand. Max trying to shake to his right. Ripped down by the sliding Jonatas Mello, and only foul called. He's lucky that wasn't 2 minutes.
Brian Miller, the referee with the ball in his hands right now, put his right hand into his pocket and then thought, I'm not sure I want to make this call right here. But in the regular season, that's a 2-minute penalty.
Good restart chance for the Wave. And Coach Oliviero going to utilize the timeout here. So Milwaukee with the first good restart opportunity.
Tenzin Rampa, the Wave captain, you can see him down there talking with Ryan Sigich, the veteran official. But tell you what, I said it early in the broadcast of game number 2, it's going to have to be a mauling for there to be a blue card pulled out. No blue cards in game number 2, and I don't expect to see any here in the minigame.
Jeff, any thoughts about this restart?
I'm just watching the blast here during this timeout. Pat Healy right now is setting up the wall, setting up the entire. And it's amazing. You talked about it earlier. You've got Milwaukee, Kansas City, just about every other team during a timeout. They huddle up, coach talks to them. Baltimore, they stay out on the field. They work it out amongst themselves. And right now what they're trying to do is they got beat on a set play in the first half, or in the first game. And I'm just watching them trying to read lips, but they're definitely strategizing on where Ruggles is and how to match up against him.
Well, he'll be on the short side, this side, which should help the Blast defend it a little bit. Certainly it's nice when you have a guy like Pat Healy with his experience who can help organize guys defensively. Matos, Ruggles, Marcio lays it off. Oh, and a great save by Vanzela to rob Max Ferdinand. Well executed by the Wave, and a great save by Vanzela.
And down behind the play is Max Ferdinand, I believe.
He took that shot right off of his eye, immediately grabbed it and went down.
Oh, man. So, crowd becomes very quiet here in Milwaukee as they tend to Max Ferdinand. As you heard Jeff say, took it right off of his eye. Don't know if we have a replay on that, but...
Great reaction save by Vanzela on the restart. And Ferdinand took the initial shot.
And you see Max still writhing in pain down there as, come on, let's see again. Okay, so he's coming over the corner as.
Yep, that ball off the wall and then into Max's face. Now we know Max is the one player in this league that wears the full 90 headgear, but unfortunately that full 90 headgear didn't prevent that ball from hitting him right in the middle of the face, as Jeff said, to the end of the eye. It looked like the right eye. Good sign here that he's sitting up right now.
Definitely a good sign. And obviously, if you're a Wave fan, you're hoping he's okay. And I'm sure if you're a Blast fan, you know, Max had a lot of fans, still has a lot of fans in Baltimore, and so they're certainly pulling for him as well. Let's take a look once again.
If you were going to pick an MVP for the Milwaukee Wave this season, you'd probably have to say it would be Ian Bennett, but there's a lot of folks out there, including me. If you'd ask who the best player on the Milwaukee Wave was this year, it's that man, the former Blast player, number 24, Max Ferdinand.
So Max is up and walking off, and again, hope he's going to be okay, but probably just be conjecture to say whether or not he's going to be able to get back in there.
And remember, anytime it's an injury to the head, you're going to have doctors that are going to take a close look and make a decision on whether you're going to be allowed to come back on the field, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, he probably will have to go through some kind of concussion protocol here.
That's a new full 90 popcorn protector in the stands that kid had made up.
Yeah, and he's going straight back to the locker room with the team doctors right now. Didn't even stop at the bench.
So we'll try to get you an update on the status of Max Ferdinand, but needless to say, that's a big loss for the Wave. Hoxie shrugs off Jamali, walking in, shot, deflects, over the line, and goal judge says the ball fully went across the line, and Baltimore takes the lead 1-0 in the minigame.
Correctly called it over the line as well. That whole ball was absolutely over the line. And just like that, the injury to Ferdinand, the play comes the other way, and watch this right here. Watch the whole ball right. Not the best angle to see it from behind, but right there, the ball clearly in. And you see the goal judge right there on the right part of your screen, who's got a great look at it.
We'll try to get the scoring for you.
And this is where the Baltimore Blast become very, very tough, is when they get a lead and they hunker in defensively, it's difficult to break them down. And they'll look to sit back and counterattack right now.
Santana able to clear that one away as it bounces out of bounds. So the Blast able to draw first blood here in the minigame.
Literally draw first blood. The Wave going to need to be patient here. They got to make sure they don't lose their defensive shape and get counterattacked. So they're going to get their chances in the last 11-19.
Renault looking for Rampa, shot blocked. Tenzin follows, and Venzela able to get out and make the save. Looked like Tenzin might have an opportunity with a good follow-up there, but Venzela with excellent reaction to get out and stop that one.
No better team in the MASL at protecting a lead than the Baltimore Blast. Heard about Jeff talking about their system all game long, and a part of that system is 5 behind the ball. Tremendous commitment to defense.
Rayleigh with a good play there to take it away. Milwaukee gets it back. Rayleigh thought he might have been fouled on the play, but they play on. Jamali knocks it back to Lemos. Sends it up for Hain. Andre, nice effort there to knock it down in front of the defender. As they swing it around far side. Here's Nelson. Eder in his first season with the Wave. Just turned 31. There's a shot by Bennett, turning shot up in the stands. Now we're still trying to get the official scoring on that first goal of the minigame by Baltimore. So it was going to be Andrew Hoxie getting the goal. And assist goes to Pereira. Hoxie from Pereira at 2:47 to put the Blast up 1-0. Andrew Hoxie scoring his 4th of the postseason. He's had a good postseason for the Blast after another solid regular season. Renault got around initially. Dos Santos stumped, no call. Whoa, Baltimore not very happy about that. Matos, Bennett with a shot. And Venzela covers up.
Not a good decision that time by Ian. He had Renault on the far side and chose to shoot directly, and now look out.
Wow, as Pereira got dumped over there, and only...
Oh, they're going to call a foul on Pereira? Wow. I thought that was a blue card against Lemos.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Baltimore bench, as you can expect, beside
Incredulous,
themselves.
yes.
Especially after the previous play that Wave was lucky not to get a foul.
Wave's got to be careful here. There's plenty of time. They don't need to take unnecessary risks.
Lemos cracks one off the frame. Now Grable with the rebound. Eventually gets knocked out. We'll see if Baltimore really packs it in now.
Oh, they will. They will pack it in.
Leite sizing up the defense. Rayleigh with a nice job to poke it away. Leite gets it back. Ricardinho. 9 minutes to go in the minigame. Winner of this game advances to the MASL Championship against the winner of San Diego and Sonora, with Sonora up 1-0 and hosting game 2 this weekend.
Lemos has got to be smart here, Tom. They don't need to be desperate in this situation. There's still plenty of time left. The last thing he wants to do is get caught out of his goal and give an easy one the other way.
Fans trying to see if they can help inspire the Wave. Renault against Healy in a battle of number 8s. Back heel leaf. Oh, Leite trying to set up Chamali. Pass just a bit behind him. Daniel got in just a little bit too deep. Marcio was right on the nose with that pass otherwise. Lemos coming up as a 6th attacker now. Here's Vega. Guilherme coming in, but didn't want to take the left foot shot, it appeared. Now Bennett with it. Ricardinho. Wave trying to get some traffic in there. Ricardinho with a left foot shot. That deflects wide. Blast try to clear. Vega gets it back. And Milwaukee almost like they're on a power play right now.
Once again, as Jeff Husted said before, the Wave trying to get traffic in front of Van Zela.
Van Zela deftly slides out to clear that away. Tenzin Rampa for the Wave. He and Chamali, the defenders right now. Lemos, like a pseudo 6th attacker. Wave has had possession for about the last couple of minutes. Ricardinho shot turned away by Healy. Blast clearing downfield. Lemos will get there. Wave has been without Max Ferdinand in this minigame since he took a ball to the face early in this period. Now Lemos will move up to the wing.
He's gonna go.
Josh coming in, he'll launch a shot, just deflected away as Santana slid out to deflect away from the goal. What would have been a goal for the goalkeeper, Josh Lemos.
Look out.
Wave gives it up as Dantas trying to work his way upfield, but fortunately, Lemos was able to get back.
Lemos had that shot and he tried to bounce back in to get the rebound. He wanted a score there.
Renault comes forward. Shot blocked into the stands. Wave will kick it in from there. 6.5 to go. Wave needs a goal to tie. Marcio trying to get it to Renault, and Healy steps up to make the play, and then Renault draws the foul, commits the foul, I should say.
Very important the Wave stay composed in this situation. There's 6.5 left. That's an eternity in indoor soccer.
Well,
Don't need to take any unnecessary risks just yet.
Healy and Renault were holding hands like they were ready to go to the prom. But the foul clearly on Renault. Tell you, it is immeasurable, the defensive stability that Healy provides for this team in the back. They've got some pretty good other defenders otherwise, but boy, having him is really a major veteran calming presence. Foul on the Blast. Well, the Blast has got to believe that they've got a few calls coming their way here after the first 9 minutes of this minigame. And now delay a game warning against the Blast. Jeff, what's feeling down there? You think the Blast feels they might get a couple of calls here?
They're starting to pack it in. You can see, you probably won't see too many players up above the yellow line. For Milwaukee, though, you're starting to see what we were wondering if we would see from Baltimore. Starting to see some forced passes, some shots that are just offline. The desperation of the do-or-die game is starting to set in for both teams.
Now Ruggles steps up to get it. Fires a shot. Boy, the Blast has done a great job of blocking shots here in this minigame. Dos Santos can't get around Grable. Nicely done there by Stewart to cut him off. Lemos looking for Marcia. But he's 1-on-4. Now has some support from Hain. Santana checks him off the play as they play on.
You don't get the call, you cannot stop. Got to keep playing.
All right, Eder Nelson cautiously comes out the center circle. 5 minutes to go. Santana steps in front of that pass, but Ian Bennett, good hustle to at least delay the attack upfield by Santana. Boy, that was huge because he might have had a chance to launch toward the empty net. Daniel Matos with it. Brazilian native who played his college ball at Penn State in West Florida. Lays it across Rampa, the Madison native who played at UW Milwaukee. Lays it back. Matos again.
This is where the Wave desperately misses Max Ferdinand and the ability, his 1v1 ability to break down a defense.
Vega somehow was able to spin away. Got it over Renault with a shot. That one off target. He follows with harassment from Donatelli. Matos back for Renault. Lays it off. Bennett with a shot. Sliding block, Santana. Santana rolling that rotund body of his on the turf expertly to make the block. Renault trying to get top of the area. Cut off by Healy. He'll reload.
The Wave wants to keep the Blast defenders on the field right now. They've been on for an extremely long period of time.
They have had to defend for like 5 of the last 6 minutes here. Matos to Chamali. Bennett circling around. Ian fakes, shoots, deflects wide. Rebound. Renault and Healy both battling there. Santana over there. Santana falls down.
Oh, wow.
Good no call there.
Yeah, but it's got to be an intentional play back to the goalie.
Well, they haven't been calling that much in this series. Alluding, of course, to the play with the Wave last week.
I'm sure there's some people in Baltimore going right now, Kramer, are you kidding me? Pass back to the goalie? Because in game 1, there was no more blatant missed call than that one.
Josh Lemos made his best save of the season on a pass back from Marcio Liete with his hands. As you see Santana now getting a little help.
Yeah, Santana fell down in a very sensitive area right on the ball, just right there at the end.
That's not going to feel very well. Well, Jeff, there's no question about it. The tension is rising. 1 goal game in minigame. And, you know, just got to appreciate the drama of what we got here.
This is MASL playoff soccer at its best.
3:25 to go, Jeff. What do you think? 2 minutes till they go to the 6th attacker, right around the 2-minute mark?
When you've got a goalkeeper like Josh Lemos, you can wait till that 2-minute mark to put it on your 6th attacker, especially he's taken a couple good cracks already tonight. For Baltimore, this is exactly what Danny Kelly said coming into this game. Go for the ball, control the ball, dive for the ball, and they've done that this entire 3rd game. For Milwaukee, they've got to just start taking their shots. What worked for them in the first game is you just shoot and shoot and shoot and see what happens. And they need to get that going in this game.
Brad Beach, the Wave mascot, trying to help get this crowd fired up as we play the last 3:25 of the minigame. That's the last 3:25 unless we're tied. Then we'll go to golden goal overtime. Datas, boy, great persistence there to keep it going. Wave initially cleared, but Nelson had that one go off the back of his heel. And now Baltimore can cycle, use up some time. Again, Datas with some good work as he gets it to Peruzzi, makes a move. Shot in, save Lemos. Boy, pretty good shot there by Peruzzi. Nice diving stop by Lemos. Can the Wave find that elusive tying goal? Marcio Liete
who has been one of the postseason heroes this year. Fires it in. Healy sweeps it away off the board. That one's spinning past Marcio. And as we come down to 2:20, it's really almost like full sixth attack mode for Milwaukee with the goalkeeper, Lemos, serving in that role. Josh certainly very capable. They're giving him some room. As we've seen, he's got a pretty good shot. If he gets a chance
Gotta
to
go at him and start putting shots at net right now. Make them defend in their box. We're quite content with the Wave working around on the outside.
Lemos, he's going to tee it up. Just wide. Boy, well struck by Josh. Just a bit off target. Ruggles over to Marcio. Marcio looking to make something happen. Marcio coming in. He got it on the left foot. Shot! We're tied! He goes to the left foot this time and converts. Huge goal by Marcio. Back to even in the minigame.
Well, if there's been a Baltimore Blast killer over the years, it's that man, number 77, Marcio Leite, and he does it again. Little step over move to the left, and that ball beats Vanzela up high, and we are tied.
Marcio's second of the night, his fifth of the postseason. We have a minute 41 left to go.
Two Baltimore Blast killers over the year, Tom. I'd say Greg Howes for sure, and that man, number 77, Marcio Leite.
And Leite went right at Pat Healy right there, and Pat Healy is gassed. He has been holding his sides. He's been taking every minute he can to get off of the bench, and he did not have it. He was beat on that move there by Leite.
Boy, Dos Santos, what a play to keep that one involved. Grable able to knock it down. Boy, well done by Stewart as the Wave was scrambling a bit there.
Both teams need to make sure they keep their defensive discipline with their shape.
Vanzela. Well, he's going to bring it up to midfield. He's not real accustomed to doing that, but he does. Oh, pops out to the middle, Donatelli. Great play there. The assist from Dantas. And once again, the Blast take the lead. Well, Donatelli, who has scored a lot of key goals in his career, and he does so here. Great setup there. Lemos maybe just a bit leaning the wrong way, but a great conversion by Donatelli.
The Wave had the players there defensively. They got caught ball watching. Eder Nelson, a young player at the back post. Robert Renault, a first-year player. Stuart Grable, a young player. All standing around watching Vinny Dantas work against Rampa. No one picked up Donatelli.
He's a guy you definitely got to keep an eye on.
You think so? Two guys out there right now. Vinny Dantas, Tony Donatelli.
Tony gets his fourth of the playoffs, and perhaps none bigger than that. Dantas with the assist, and I'll tell you one thing, Art, if Baltimore goes on to win this game and win the championship, Vinny Dantas is your leading postseason MVP candidate.
Now this team, we've said it all broadcast long. Defending champions for a reason. Got big heart, led by their all-world coach, Danny Kelly. Their all-world defender, Pat Healy. The big strikers, Vinny Dantas and Tony Donatelli.
Well, Wave has come back to tie it once. Now they will use the official extra attacker in Drew Ruggles. So again, empty net to the right as we face it, and right off the bat, Baltimore applying a lot of pressure as Milwaukee desperately trying to get it upfield. Now Andre Hain starts to work his way forward. That used up some time, 46 seconds left to go. In it comes Andre, trying to turn, shoot in the middle, knocked down, and a handball on Ian Bennett. Yep, popped up. And now Baltimore really going to be able to use up some time. Baltimore really applying the pressure. They let Hain open. You know, that was kind of reminiscent of the game the other night in Baltimore where they put so much pressure upfield. Andre was able to get back with Bennett and create that tying goal. But the Blast, redoubtable, not going to second-guess themselves on that strategy. And now with 39.8 seconds to go, they've got a chance to run this thing out. Jeff Husted, any thoughts?
Well, it's just been an amazing series from game one all the way through to right now. Danny Kelly has his team calmed down. Despite going down and losing 8-4 in game two, they came out again with their Baltimore Blast system, and it worked to perfection so far. Now, right now, on the Milwaukee end, the loss of Ferdinand seems to really be affecting the way that they come out. I've seen Ian Bennett now taking double shifts a couple times, and you got to wonder, as Lemos comes back out on the field, does that affect who they chose on the sixth attacker?
Yeah, good point, Jeff. There's no question the loss of Max Ferdinand probably very significant as far as the Wave is concerned. Well, still got 39 seconds left to go. As Vanzela wings it downfield. Hain is able to track it down. Lemos getting a lot of pressure. Josh gets it up for Chamali. Daniel turns, cleared into the stands. Good hustle there by Dos Santos. Dos Santos rather unsung tonight with his defensive efforts, but he's made some big plays for the Blast. Matos ready to put it in. All the big guns available are out there now for Milwaukee. Bennett, Hain, Renault, Leite, Matos, and Drew Ruggles. There's a look at Ruggles right there.
Well, and the 25.6 that they should put back 1.8 seconds here.
Please put 25.6 seconds back on the clock.
There we go.
Sorry, 0.8, I should say.
Well, they do it a lot faster than they do in college basketball, I'll tell you that much. Okay, Marcio trying to get by on the right side. Wave has got to get something toward the goal.
Get out of bounds.
Ball cleared near side, stays in play though. Matos with it. Matos cut off by Donatelli. Cleared downfield, Ruggles has it. Drew is going to launch one in. Renault trying to steer one side of the net. Vanzela knocks it down. 4 seconds to go. Leite, can he get a shot off? He does. It deflects out. And that's going to do it. The Baltimore Blast has defeated the Wave 2-1 in the minigame. And they are your 2017 MASL Eastern Conference champions. Boy, great series. Credit both teams with just tremendous effort in both games. All three games, I should say. And congrats to the Baltimore Blast for pulling this out in the Game 3 minigame.
Yeah, you really. And it's, two champions right there. And you get through the Kansas City Comets and you play the Baltimore Blast the way the Milwaukee Wave played them this season. I mean, it's been one heck of a season for the Wave and for the Baltimore Blast.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the minigame. As Milwaukee was able to force the minigame after an 8-4 victory over the Blast in Game 2 just prior. Fans sticking with the Wave as we got ready to play the minigame. Coach Oliviero getting his team ready. Vanzela coming up with a couple of big saves for the Blast. And then this one big one there to rob Max Ferdinand, and that's where Max ironically got hurt after the game or after that play, and then the goal by Baltimore that scored across the line, but Wave would keep the pressure on. Josh Lemos, the goalkeeper, had a couple of great shots, and then he had to get up back and make some saves. And then Marcio Leite with the tying goal with 1:41 to go. Able to get the left footer, deflected left footer over Vanzela. Marcio had a huge postseason for the Wave after an injury-plagued regular season, but Baltimore coming back just 38 seconds later to get the game winner from Donatelli, set up by Vinny Dantas. And that's the way it ends. Baltimore Blast Eastern Conference champs. They'll play the winner of San Diego and Sonora in the finals.
To meet all of you for an absolutely
I'll tell you, Tom, the Milwaukee Wave is back. And we had so many great seasons with Keith Tozer, winning so many championships under his leadership. And anytime you lose a coach like Coach Tozer, it's going to take a while in transition to come back. But give Giuliano, Marcelo Fontana, and Nick Forberg some credit, because they've done just that. They brought this team and this franchise back to where, I won't say where it was, but certainly very, very close, and something that all Milwaukee Wave fans can be proud of. The effort, the ability, both technical, the speed of play was just outstanding to watch this year. And another great year calling it with you as well.
Absolutely, Art. It's been my pleasure. And again, I'd like to thank the entire Wave organization, President, CEO Mike Zimmerman, General Manager Dan Kinsey, the rest of the staff that does such a great job as well, and their commitment to the Wave. And as you said, are building this team back up, and tremendous year, very exciting season. I think there's certainly a lot to look forward to as far as the team is concerned, if we can, keep it pretty much intact.
And really the best production crew, bar none, in the MASL. I mean, this job and this pictures, the replays they give you at home, it's just a pleasure to be part of it, the team.
No question about it. Jeff Husted, any final words?
What a series, and guys, just thanks for letting me invade your territory here and be a part of this. Milwaukee has been a thorn in a lot of people's sides all season long. It was great to see them play the way they did and take this to a Game 3. And what an effort from Baltimore to play the way they did, as fatigued as they have, because they've played so much, and to gut it out and get this win there at the end. Hats off to both teams, and what a great series just all together. Thanks very much, guys. It's been an honor.
Jeff, thanks. Great to have you aboard. And as Jeff was suggesting, great showcase for the league, Art. Obviously, you had to have one team that wasn't going to advance, but boy, I'll tell you, this was really the great showcase for the MASL, this matchup with the Wave and the Blast.
The Baltimore Blast, I always say it, man. They're the Cowboys, and on the steel horse they ride. With Ed Hale, they're wanted dead or alive, right? And here they go again. They've seen a million faces. They've rocked them all, man, and they're going to try to rock them one more time. Good luck to the Baltimore Blast.
Well, Art, again, great to be on board with you again. Lord willing, we'll look forward to doing it again next season. And again, thank you to all the fans that tuned us in this year. It was a pleasure for us to bring the action to you. And hopefully we will do it again. So for Art Kramer and the entire UW Milwaukee Panther production crew, Tom Wynn wishing you a good one for the final time during this 2016-17 season. Thanks again, fans, and we'll see you next season.